Anyways, you guys are ready?
Of course.
Okay. So imagine your life at peak impact, and now I want you to draw what that impact looks like without using words.
Okay, I think I'm finished.
You done?
I'm not the greatest artist, but should
That's
should
fine.
do
You want to show your drawing and explain
it. Yeah. So can you can you see that?
it?
So you see that guy with like the muscles?
Uh-huh.
He has like carrying boxes, I would
Uh-huh.
say weights, packages, and he's smiling. That's me. Then here we have my mom, my dad, my sister. I drew a horse with them and like the little arrow between us. Um, and on the other side, it's like my future wife. Yeah, and well, below that, my children. Yeah, these are like friends. And basically, what I'm what I imagine it to be is like I'm carrying all the weights and all the packages of like the people that I love and are important to me, and I'm happy doing that. And that's why I'm the strong guy. I don't want the people that I love to be strong. I want to be the strong one and like ensure that they are all happy. And that's why I like have those little homes. I want to make sure they have all like a happy life, a good home. I want to be the one that like ensures that everything is like you know safe and secure and happy. And
Uh,
I want to be the one that takes on like all the heavy stuff, and be the strong guy.
love it. Okay, let's hear what Robin has, and then we'll discuss. I mean, Josh. Josh, let's see
All
what
right,
you got.
good. So at the top,
Hey.
so it's a bit a bit fucked up, but because I can't draw for shit. But so basically, at peak impact, just career-wise, I think I'm I still find the time to serve. So I'm standing here, and there's like the staircase, a long staircase, the journey towards like your personal definition of success. Like then that's the star here at the top. And I want to be in a position where I build something or I have something that makes it easier to climb like the staircase for a lot of people. Like I want to have a like huge leverage. So I think that comes down to media or some kind of product that is scalable. And then yeah, basically I make it easier for everybody to climb those stairs after I've been there myself, after I've taken this
Okay.
journey myself. And at the bottom, same as Robin, got my family. So this should look like not like a German house. It's more like a Thai house. And this is this is like this basically over here. This is the career side, and this is my private life. I want to have a family. I want to do martial arts. I want to serve. I want to yeah, at peak impact, I see myself like just helping a lot of people, guiding them. After I've done that, like after doing it myself, I want to speed up the process for other people.
And is there any is there a significance to the 5 steps and the 5 people
Oh,
you've
that's
climbed?
just the steps, like the number of steps and the 5 people, it doesn't matter really. I just wanted to show like it's not one to one,
Uh,
it's one to many.
like you leading the way, and these are like followers behind you?
Mm, I wouldn't say I lead the way. I just make it more like a guide
Okay.
people can come to, like the like Gandalf or Yoda. So if you ever think like, dude, what the fuck am I doing?
Uh-huh.
And I want to get to a place where
Mhm.
I've been, like always reach out and I will just give you what I was like looking for at that step when I've been there.
Hey, love
Yeah.
it.
And like I noticed that that's really fulfilling. That's how peak impact looks like for me.
And then Robin, your drawing had, kind of your wife's house on the top left, and then your parents' house on the top right?
Mhm.
Which kind of like, and same thing, with Josh. For Robin, like the private life seems more important, right? Because you drew it on the top. And then for Josh, he drew his career on the top and the family stuff on the bottom, so
Yeah.
it's interesting.
Don't tell anybody. But I'm like, I think at this stage, I'm really focused on that, like
Yeah.
laying down the foundation, and then after 10 years, like you said, you will those things like I view those phases as chapters, and I think right now it's the chapter to grow, to lay the foundation, and after that, it's like Robin said it nicely in one of our one-to-one talks. Like I want to build like things, products, my career right now, and then later on I want to build a family, and I want to build children, like my
Like
own children.
Building
And that's
puppy.
how,
build children.
yeah,
Like,
yeah. That's how we talked about it. Yeah.
yeah. I love it. You got some robot children. 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
All right. Uh, do you guys have any reactions on each other's drawings or visions?
I kind of
Uh,
knew from our
Oh,
talks, like where Robin's priorities are.
mhm.
Mm, I was surprised that Robin can draw better than me, but yeah, I think we
Yeah.
have
And
a
Robin,
yeah,
any reaction from you?
I think I kind of know. Like we did a lot of deep talks at the beginning
Mhm.
before we started posting, and even like throughout we talk every day, lots of hours.
yeah.
And I kind of knew like I know what Joshua's peak perfect life will look like,
Mhm.
and it's kind of what he draw. Um, so yeah, it's not really surprising. I think
Yeah.
like in certain ways we are super similar. Just
It
Just
looks
out of like, the little bastard in me. you know, you both
yeah.
didn't draw each other in some sort of peak impact.
I mean, it's kind
true.
of uh, the impact that I do is like it's the impact that I do, right? It's not the impact that
Yeah, but you guys are on a journey together.
yeah, that's
Yeah,
true.
that's true. But I mean, we talked about this a lot, and we don't see us like I think that's something unspoken. Like
Yeah.
we see ourselves on this journey together, like also with Bruno, like the
Mhm.
third co-founder. And for me, this is like more like the way you asked it, it was like more personal. Like,
Mhm. No, it's just there's no right or wrong answer. It's just
yeah, true. I
interesting
think I think
observation. I think.
I think for example, like the way like Robin said, we are very similar in some
Mhm.
ways. But I think the how we personally see ourselves, like the position we personally see ourselves with peak impact is different on paper. Like
Mhm.
we have like different skills that will put us in that position.
So can I ask you guys to draw again, and
Mhm.
Yeah.
think about kind of the peak impact as a duo or as a trio with Bruno? Josh is
I'm
still cooking.
I'm so bad at drawing. Holy fuck.
It's fine. Even if you just draw abstract shapes and like, symbology, that's fine. Bring out your Picasso.
Okay, let's go with this one.
All right.
Do you
All right.
start, Robin?
You can start, Josh.
Okay. One
Do you
second.
prefer Josh or Joshua?
Both is fine, actually.
Both
Yeah.
is fine.
Yeah. Josh is good.
Ah.
Okay. So on this side, we
Mhm.
have unhappy people. And
I thought the guy on the top is Robin, mad at everybody. Guys.
no. So basically,
Yeah.
this is the group. Let's call them like unhappy people with a problem. And this problem is something we have like the perfect, let's say, secret box product, whatever, something like a solution. And I'm this guy. I'm in the front. I'm talking to them. And I'm like, hey, we have something for you here. And this might be really interesting for you. This could solve your problem. Check this out. Like, check out what Robin and Bruno are building. This is amazing. And that's how I see my position in. And Robin and Bruno are like, Robin is like in the middle. He's the one with the cap. He's like building the this guy. He's the bridge
Yeah.
between me and Bruno, kind of, because he understands both sides. He's like leading the product vision, kind of, and I'm on the front. Like my target is like, or my task is like to reach as many unhappy people and tell them about our thing. And Bruno, he's like the let's say the tinkerer, the mastermind when it comes to what we have to do so the product works really good. And then the more you move from Bruno, so the right side, I think, to my side, the more it gets like less about like, let's say, back end, more about front end and how to like talk to the customer, how to present it, like the packaging. You move from the right side, it's more about what's inside and behind the scene. And then like as you go to the customer, it's more moving from behind the scenes to what can the customer see. And that's how I see peak impact in both like our roles.
I love it. And
Yeah.
Robin, you want to share yours?
Look at this masterpiece. Oh, okay. So I thought I thought a different way about it, like peak impact in a couple years. So I imagine this is in the center. It's us three, and like Bruno, me, Joshua, and then you see these little boxes. These are like not certainly products, but like businesses. And you can see he's like at Paul on the beach,
Highlighted.
and he is like money bag. He is like a little home, or like I would say it's more like it's supposed to be like a little place where you can just work together, and a brain. So these are like on the right side, it's more like resources, and then you have like the this is just, I imagine we can work from anywhere in the world, anytime we want, on the things we love, right? So, but we have a stable place as well, like a little office or something where we just work together when we're not here,
Yeah.
And then we have like money as of we make money and have a good life, but also we have money as like a resource type of thing. And that comes together with like the brain, because I know like all these things we do and we have done in the past couple of years, it's been super tough, and it's been like, lots of learnings, lots of experience that in a couple of years will even be more and more valuable. And here I see like people that are further down the road, not further, like just young men or young teams that are like us, like we were, or like we are right now, and we have all the resource to help them. Like if it's investments or if it's like guidance or like a certain type of program, but that's like the peak impact. It's not only about the products anymore, but it's about helping people get there as well.
Love it. Do you guys have reactions on each other's drawings? I'm curious to hear Josh's reaction.
To Robin's one, we talked about this already. It's really close to what he said, like where he wants to go. And so it doesn't surprises me. I kind of forgot like the part like when I started to draw, I had like a couple attempts and I forgot the part about like peak impact.
No, but yours is
Would
good because
yeah,
it's more
it's what is
micro
yeah, it's
view,
micro, yeah,
and
right.
Robin has like more macro view,
Yeah, yeah,
which is great. Like you're focused on details. You're like, I'm customer facing, and Bruno's like in the back end, and Robin is, kind of in the middle,
yeah.
making sure everything runs smoothly. So it's great. Uh, Now I want you to imagine you're there, right? You're in your co-working house, you know, co-working mansion on the beach. Okay, you three, you got a little, wife and kids area if your spouses want to join. All right. And you're there, chipping away, you're making investments, things are great. At that point, what opportunities do you want to attract? Like, what's the best opportunity you can attract?
Just overall, career-wise or
Like
private?
you've reached peak impact. You're there.
Yeah.
You're sitting there. And someone emails you or someone gets on a phone call or something, and it's the most exciting thing ever. It's like the best project or the best opportunity. Describe that opportunity.
I imagine like doing the following at scale as a really, really nice and fulfilling mission, like something I could get behind to. Like somebody reaches out to me and says to me, hey, listen, we want to build a school, something like or like an organization, a non-profit maybe, where we help like especially people in on the world where that don't have the means to go from like zero to building the business. Like that's something I can imagine. Like that's a nice problem to solve. How do you get somebody there? It could be like a learning platform or
Yeah.
something. And then I want to get like I want to build like an Avengers team to like you have like the best growth
Okay.
hackers, the best product builders to tackle that mission. And then we do like basically what I showed you in the beginning with the stairs.
Mm-hmm.
In
I
this
love it.
case, the North Star is just like getting people from zero to building their first real business and escaping like the rat race if that's something they want to achieve because that's a position I've been so long. Like I've been stuck in that position for so long. I never knew like what like how do I actually get out of here? There's so much stuff I think on the internet, but there isn't like that one place. There's so many people to go to for this kind of advice, but there isn't that one place where everybody says, no, that's the only thing you have
Mm-hmm.
to watch, and after that, you're good to go.
Yeah,
Or that's the only thing you have to attend to visit, and after that, you're good to go. Like
I like it. So your dream project is to kind of have this kind of like boot camp almost
maybe, yeah,
where
yeah.
you can all paid kind of like an elite, how like if you get a PhD at MIT, like they pay for everything and you just go and do research with the best minds in the world and whatever. So you want to have like a PhD entrepreneurship program basically
Not
all paid
not
for.
like I took entrepreneurship
No,
like
not
lectures.
not
Yeah,
academic, but like that kind of idea.
yeah, yeah. I
Like
want
it's
to
not, you
like
don't need a degree or whatever.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
just
yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I like it.
Reminds me of YC.
Yeah,
Kinda,
something
yeah,
like yeah.
kinda.
Why
I want to
not?
build
Uh,
true. Maybe true. It is YC, like how I imagine it. It's basically YC.
yeah, no, it's a little different because
Yeah.
YC is more an accelerator. Like it's you're there already, and they just hook you up with contacts, hook you up with a design team, hook you up with customers, big
You
corporate
already
customers
have
and
to
stuff like.
be like an A player to get inside.
Yeah, so
I
you're
would,
like pre YC almost.
yeah, yeah. I'm like bootcamp for YC maybe.
Hmm.
Let's get you to a position where YC is something you can do if you want to.
Yeah,
That's
so like the ultimate collab is YC basically. is YC recruits from you, like your top 10% of
That would be dope, yeah.
yeah.
Like imagine having like a pipeline, just pushing out one.
Uh-huh.
Well, like after, of course, after we have done it, after we have
Mhm.
reached that point ourselves, and then we take it apart. We distill like a blueprint out of for people because that's something I was looking for when I started. Like I was so lost, and I wish there was something like this. I was digging so much content about how to start a business. I was stuck in this weird loop, but I just needed somebody to tell me, dude, stop consuming all that shit.
Yeah.
Start doing these things
Mm.
and see where they lead, like where those things are going to lead you, and
Uh,
then come back to me once you got results. Something like that, just for YC for just total beginners.
I love it. And Robin, do you have something juicy?
Just want to follow up on this
Yeah.
because it's I don't have anything in mind. Like I don't have an answer to your question particularly. I was thinking about different things, like building something that I really think is like fun for me. It's
Yeah.
like building cool stuff, not only software, but like, for example, building affordable houses or something,
Yeah. Yeah.
But now that Joshua said this thing, it's like something that really resonates with me
Yeah.
because I was thinking, as he was talking about it, I was thinking about all the times where I desperately tried finding, like, we went to unis to all these, um, there are certain programs in Germany that are not profitable, but
Mhm.
like from the uni, but they are also like super constrained, and we could never get any help there. We could
Mhm.
never get like the thing that allows us to quit our jobs and go full time and get the guidance we need. All these organizations, accelerators, investors, all these are looking for is this profitable or not. So you already have to
Mhm.
be kind of down the line, and the other way around, it's super constrained and not applicable to most of people and not pushing the right people, I would say. So that's actually a good idea.
You like
On a
it?
person,
I like
That's
it.
funny.
on a
I don't know. I just like with Joshua, I accept the answer, but for Rob, I feel like you gotta like there's nothing selfish. Like you play the piano. Like wouldn't it be great to collaborate with some like piano guy on like
I'm trash in piano. I don't really care about it.
nothing. So for
Uh,
you, it's the same thing. It's like, hey, it'll be great to help out uh just these, let's say, maybe talented, brilliant people that are maybe stuck in a bad situation.
That's fun, yeah. Sounds really fun.
That sounds fun. All right. I
It's
like it.
like
yeah,
because I was always imagining once I made it,
Mhm.
I will become like an angel investor. But
Mhm.
because I personally met one cool angel investor,
Mhm.
and he kind of became like okay, that's actually he just does whatever the fuck he wants, and he doesn't invest into people that are like, okay, that's a great idea, but he invests in the people he likes and he believes in, and doesn't really care about the idea. And I was like, okay, that's actually something I want to do, as well.
Yeah.
And what Joshua just said is like exactly this, but on a much bigger scale.
I love it. Yeah,
on a
sounds
personal
great.
side,
What?
if I'm at peak impact and
Mhm.
somebody reaches, like, this is more personal side, like not career oriented. Somebody reaches out and tells me like, hey, want to do a boot camp with like Buaka or like some martial artists.
Yeah,
Like
Sensei.
yeah, I'm going to disappear for a month or something.
Yeah.
Or dude, there's like a big storm. You can ride like big waves. Maybe you die. I'm down. Sign me up.
Yeah, like this.
Like, dude, I'm like, once I made it, I would
Yeah.
dedicate a few months every year of my life to do like side quests.
Mhm.
Like,
I like the side quest. Like what
yeah.
kind of so Muay Thai is one and surfing is the other?
Another one would be a silent retreat.
Hmm.
Like I'm big into meditation and to like I've applied for a few, but usually like the spots of, you know what a silent retreat is, right?
Yeah, you can do it. You don't need to go anywhere to shut the fuck
I
up
mean,
for a
I
couple of
can do
days.
it, but I want to really get like into a new environment and need some. I would need would like to have some guidance, and there's like a really
Yeah, the
big
guidance part
yeah
is cool. You
yeah
know, like, but you can do it. You can try it. Like I've done silent meditation where like whatever 3 days, 4 days, you say nothing, even if
yeah
people like I even told my wife, I'm like, hey, you can talk to me. You know,
yeah
I'll smile and I'll nod, but I won't say anything.
yeah,
And
but
it's
it's
life changing. You'll see how the people you interact with on a daily basis have so much more to say, but you never listen.
true. Yeah. I mean,
You know.
I used to be a really big meditator, and now
Mhm,
it's not one of my priorities, but
mhm,
that's still something I want to do. Like I've read some really good
uh,
um, things about like the silent retreat of that one specific organization, and
mhm,
that's the thing you did. They do a bit more extreme. Like you're not even allowed to. You're not talking to anybody except receiving guidance from that one guy that is then.
Yeah, it's
Uh,
great. The
yeah,
meditation stuff is great. Like walking meditation, where like every step is one breath, and then
yeah.
that tests your patience and all of that. Yeah, it's great. I love it. So that's like kind of, the side quests. Robin, do you have any side quests that that you're saving for when you're in the position of power?
I was thinking about the one Friends episode where
Hmm.
the date of Monica, the rich guy,
Yeah,
suddenly became like UFC fighter and just got his ass beat.
yeah,
I think that would be fun.
that's hilarious.
Wife, kids,
Yeah,
see ya. I'm gone
yeah,
for like 6 months,
yeah.
and then they see me on TV like getting my ass beaten. I was even thinking like, Joshua trains, I train, and we see us in the cage.
That's hilarious.
I mean,
Yeah.
we still have the bet like going on that basically, or like as an inside joke. First time we meet in real life, we're going to do a sparring match, and the winner gets like the CEO title.
Yeah. The next question is, what is your proudest moment? And whoever has a proudest moment they want to share first. And you can share multiple if you'd like.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can I get
That makes
multiple?
it easier. That makes
Yeah,
it
yeah,
easier.
yeah. Uh,
You want
whoever
to go first?
has, you can go. Yeah.
You go?
You can go, Robin, if you have some.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have one like one of my proudest moments I cannot disclose.
Mhm,
But they're like couple. Um, one of them is actually it happens multiple times. Every time I do a sale or kind of money with like my stuff,
mhm,
I don't only feel proud of myself, but then I always take a screenshot or from the
mhm,
Stripe notification and send it. I send it to our group, like Joshua and Bruno. I send it to my girlfriend, and I send it more importantly to my family group.
yeah,
And I always get like a call from my dad,
mhm.
and he says, "Mashallah,"
Hell yeah,
and
mashallah.
that's always like,
Yeah,
yeah, I'm getting there.
yeah.
I'm getting there. And then the other thing is, or was, when the one angel I mentioned earlier,
Mhm,
he has like a crazy office, like in a luxury hotel in Berlin,
mhm,
highest floor, and like he invited us in like January, and we went there on May.
mhm,
4 months, and these 4 months I was like always when I passing by this hotel, I was
mhm,
like, I'm gonna be soon up there and pitching the shit out
mhm,
myself. And every time when I passed by, and then the day came where we came there, and then we hit the bell to let so they can let us in. And there was like a concierge with like the
mhm,
headset thingy. He came down and was like, who's expecting you? And then we drove up with the elevator.
mhm.
He brought us like GTA type shit, to the office. And then we sat down, and I was like, hell yeah.
Mhm. Hell yeah.
That's like what we achieved.
Mhm. That's great. Josh, you want to share some of yours?
Yeah, I've got a couple like the reaching like the think the first one that really got me hooked on building stuff together with other people was when I still was in high school, I think.
Mhm.
And so what we got me started into trying to learn how to code, let's put it this way, was like I always wanted to do my own video game. And then back in high school, our teacher told us, like our IT teacher, he told us, hey, let's do like the next project is going to be a small game. And I grabbed one or two guys who I know they could build what I have envisioned. And I was trying to help as much, but basically it came down to more like supporting them and telling them what to build. And that was like super much fun. There was this one scene kind of where our IT teacher, he went behind our backs and looked what we were building. And he was um, like he was blown away by the level of that game. And he told us, dude, in next like in 2 weeks, the school is going to have like an open day where everybody can look and have like can check out the school and decide if they want to send out like their kids to the school. And he was like, let's display your game on that school day so the kids that come to the school can try it out.
Mm.
And then that was basically the first product I got to into hands of anybody. And that was like seeing that was like incredible. Behind the scenes, we were dying because that thing was so buggy, it was so shitty because I wrote the like I started with writing the code for it and like everything was in one big for loop or something like that. And it didn't like it was a miracle it ran, right?
That's
So we
like,
actually but it kind of worked. And then like even the school dean, he was like surprised about like at that day he checked that out and he was like surprised. And that's something I think I'm never going to lose, like that moment. Like that journey also because it was I think I've never worked so long hours. Like I was like I think 14 or something, but it was worth it. Like seeing kids play the thing, like playing with the thing you build together with like mates and that journey, that was so fulfilling. And then yeah, that's like one of the moments where I was like really proud. Um, and that yeah, it was also a lot of fun. But to be honest, those like thinking back of it, I'm not proud anymore. Like
interesting.
I'm
What happened?
I don't feel like it's more like proudness is like a fleeting moment for me.
Mm.
It's not something, it's like goes up and then it's getting back to baseline. And the baseline is let's get shit done. Let's get
Yeah,
better.
yeah,
And
yeah.
there are like some moments where it goes up and then it's going back. But um yeah, I think the second one, there are many ones, but also unrelated to building. But I remember when I was traveling in Japan, I met a lot of cool people like travelers. And then um, like when I got to know them better, they were sharing like how they were struggling with certain people. And because I was so big into meditation, I basically brainwashed everyone around me to start meditating. And seeing them actually trying it and telling me, yo, this shit actually works. That was so much fun. That was also like a proud moment because I got somebody to like who like when you mentioned the meditation around him, he was like, "Yeah, I don't do that woo shit, to be honest." And
Yeah.
I got somebody like that to actually try it out for real and to tell me like afterwards, dude, this stuff is powerful. Like, and that I can remember that moment, and it was also, I think, something I've been proud of back at that time. And then there's some other stuff like making money with like the very first website I actually put on,
Mm.
even though it was like the first internet dollar made.
Is that
Uh,
the
Life is
how
too
long you
short
have
here.
to die? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. That's Janu and Miguel. They actually gave me like my first internet dollar. I was like internally screaming. I was like in the middle of the night. I was at my desk and I saw like just the PayPal notification because I didn't even have Stripe. I didn't know how to set up Stripe at that time. And I was like completely freaking out internally. I was so happy. And that's something like there's such a big milestone because I went from 7 years of basically not knowing how to get like that first thing up and running to making that first internet dollar. And because I knew in that moment, okay, I now know what it takes to get money, basically. And now I can just repeat this in a better and faster and more scalable way. And then there's some other moments where I worked for clients and I had some really good results for them. This one was really cool also. And then there's some smaller ones where like the day-to-day work when I work with Robin and the stuff we actually do. We are looking at our screen and we're seeing, dude, another user, 20 users, $300 MR. Dude, actually, our outreach method works. These people actually reply, and we are both in a video call where we see like the replies. Like we've never done sales or marketing for real, like besides posting on our X, right? But that's not something I consider real marketing. And then trying out new things and both seeing, holy shit, you can go from knowing nothing to putting in the work in 3 days, like putting in a lot of reps to actually seeing results on the fourth day. And that's something that makes me proud over and over again. But to be honest, I think I can get better at this. I wish it would just stay a little, like it would have a longer fuse, that moment of where I'm proud, but it's really quick. It's like after that, I'm like, okay, let's get back to.
Yeah, no, it's a journey for sure. Like, you're into meditation, you understand fleeting moments and stuff, and you just appreciate them as they come and be grateful for them when they leave. You'll be good, bro.
Yeah.
All right. What's your guys' story? What's the story?
Okay, I would say my parents are from Iran, right? And they moved here, and so it's always, it's never been super easy. Like we have a good life, but it's different if when you're coming to a country, foreign country, and don't have anything and have to build everything from scratch. It's kind of difficult. I had a really good childhood, so none issues there. When I became teenager, I was always the smallest and no muscles, no fitness, no fighting, no, and that led to also me not having any self-consciousness until someday
Consciousness or confidence, you mean?
Confidence.
Yeah.
Until I started, someday I literally woke up someday. I looked in a mirror. I was like 16 or something. It's like it can't stay that way, It was literally just one morning. And I was like, from starting tomorrow, I'm going to wake up 6 a.m. and going to the gym. Doesn't matter. Every day. And I did. I did like a couple of years. And the more I did it, the more confident I became. And then there was a moment at I think 16. I became best friends with Bruno and Shazai. He is now the founder of StackOff, YC company, and we did our first startup together at 17, or 18. And that one failed, obviously. Shazai went to China and then to Zurich to study. I went to study with Bruno. But I fell so much in love with the whole idea of building something. I was so proud every day of building this and imagining how the future could look like if this succeeds. So I kept on building stuff, different people, different kind of games, apps, websites. Team of 10 people, team of 2 people, team of alone. And all on the sides, working out. Studying, getting a job. Yeah, and then I got my job. I was doing all the things besides studying, building, and then I got my first job at like 19, and I realized this ain't it. It was like typical student job, intern, Then I switched, got to corporate. It was fun. I learned a lot of stuff, but I was again like, this ain't it. I switched to the consulting agency where they have like smaller products and greenfield projects, and I was hoping I can see a lot of different companies, different tech stacks, different people, and I did. And I became even CTO, made great connections. A good friend of mine who's Joya, she was the CEO of the company, was kind of CTO, and I learned like everything that made like the coding basis of what I'm doing right now. I did tons of stuff, saw tons of projects, but someday I was just like, it's tiring. It's not, I was passionate about building stuff for other people and learning. But once I saw everything and I learned everything that I could learn, like not everything, but the things
Yeah,
I
it became
need,
boring. You're doing the same thing again and again.
it became boring. And I did context at that time. It didn't work out. I was super sad. Then I was like, fuck it, I'm doing on my own, no team, no nothing. I made Twitter, built Native Express out of the app that failed, made my first money, was happy like shit. Then met Joshua, was like, okay, we actually have the problem of building, of writing content, where I just want to build stuff and make money. So he had the same problem. We came together and built Post, and now we're here.
Like,
yeah, that's a quick run
Josh,
through, and I probably missed tons of things.
like, Josh, what is your story?
I will start at the okay, let's like at a very young age. I wasn't too keen on, I had always this irrational fear of getting a 9 to 5 after studying and stuff like that. That was already before high school. I was like looking for ways to how do I not get a 9 to 5? And that kind of spiraled me into like at a very young age into all types of self-help business type content, like books, podcasts, and I became addicted to that stuff. And that was like for a long while. Then I went from like I did high school, I left high school, and in that time I've been trying to do stuff, to do like build stuff and sell it. Or let's put it this way. I've built stuff for myself for mostly, and I never took that extra step of putting it out there. Like I wasn't a big social media guy. And like starting my Twitter account was like the first thing I did going into social media. I've never used it actually before that. And there were a lot of things that happened, and basically I was stuck and lost in that stage. I want to start something, I want to start a business, I want to not get it into a 9 to 5 while being not like while not actually being able to do anything of that. And my life kind of always get step by step closer into getting into a 9 to 5, and that made me a lot like super unhappy.
Yeah.
So
It's
as
just
I
like
finished
yeah.
like my like everything I wanted to do was like going this way, and my life was going this way. Like finish high school, finish your degree. Okay, now let's get a 9 to 5 job. I had some moments where I was like really happy, but most of the times I was traveling and doing my own stuff and not really doing what, let's say, society expects of you. But I was too weak to actually like to to build my own path back then.
Yeah. To
And
take the path you want to take. Yeah.
yeah. And then back then, like let's start 7 months ago, it's really unfulfilled with my day job. And um, what happened was basically I got so fed up that I realized, okay, if I never stop getting out of that loop, I'm going to be stuck here in this kind of situation forever. So what I did was I told myself, okay, I'm going to learn Next.js as fast as I can, and I'm going to ship anything. So what I did the same day after coming back after work, I I opened Miro and I like listed every idea I had. and I looked at them and I was like, okay, which one excites me the most? It was the one, Life is Too Short, like the one with the death clock, basically. And I started just building it right away. ChatGPT, YouTube videos, and I told myself like, okay, this time no follow along tutorials as always,
Yeah,
because
yeah. No courses, no wasting time.
just straight into it. And then after 42 hours, I think I got it actually up and running. Like I told myself, it was the middle of August last year, and I told myself, no matter how shitty this thing is going to be, by the end of this month, it's going to be online. And then I actually managed it to get it like published, you could say, or live. Deployed it with Versa the first time I ever did something like that. I had to debug for 8 hours because I didn't know that if it runs locally, that it doesn't mean that it would run on production. That was fun. And then that was like super satisfying and at the same time really underwhelming because it was like a big final for like the 7 years leading up towards that, where I never got anything out there. Because in that moment I was really proud that I actually finished something and I got it live. At the same time I knew nobody's going to see that. Like friends and family, that's going to be like 30 people, right? So what the heck am I going to do? Because I want people to see that. So in that moment, the same night, last day of August last year, I created a Reddit account and I quickly just side project subreddit. Said I created this in 42 hours. Then in the post I said something like, didn't know how to code. I wanted to learn this forever. Took me 42 hours to build this. Posted it with the link inside, forgot about it immediately. I think I went on a date with my girlfriend. Next day I woke up, like I could do this on my phone for like 30 seconds and then Reddit notifications wouldn't stop.
Yeah.
Immediately I stood up, ran to my desk, checked what did I use? Plausible. And then overnight, I think 1,000 unique visitors, 1,500 unique visitors. And over the span of the day, it rose to like 3,000. And I was like blown away. I couldn't believe it. And that's actually the thing that made me start like a Twitter account, because that was so cool. I think I felt like, okay, this might be worth sharing. And I think I heard somewhere on a podcast that like the tech scene and there's like a really big movement kind of on Twitter, like the build a public scene. A lot of people like me, maybe I can connect with some of them. So that's the first time I actually got over like my dislike for social media,
Yeah.
to get like create a real social media account. And then I grew really fast, I think, for that niche. Like I grew past people that have been doing it very long, and then I connected with a lot of people. New opportunities opened up because I posted a lot about like how to use Reddit to growth hack. And then people started reaching out, hey, do you do this as a service? So I landed my first, like I went from zero, not even knowing Next.js, not knowing anything basically in this space, to getting like over 15 clients, growth hacking their apps or websites. And then after that, I'm going through it in a fast pace, but basically I had my clients and then there was like this stage where I was like really overwhelmed with like those fulfilling like the workload, right? So I did like a really hacky workflow for myself, and it was working, but still it wasn't like satisfying. And right then I met Robin. We just got on calls, like not even with the intention to collab or to build something together, like just, hey, let's connect. I saw that you are also building public. Then we saw that we are both German, and then we had a couple calls, connected really good, like just on a personal level, because our journey is in some way really similar. And there are like so many things that were like totally the same. And then at some point in those calls, we were like, yo, for the next project, I'm going to build something in that direction. And we discovered basically we are going to build the same thing. And then it was like from there on, it's like, let's team up, let's do this together. And then I think that was like somewhere around December. And from there on, we almost worked, like right now, it's daily. Like we're getting on video calls, we're working daily and grinding on our vision for Poster and getting it to a place where we think we have like a really good value prop for people. And then like getting there step by step is like super fulfilling, because all my life I was looking for something like this. I was looking for this situation to find somebody like Robin and Bruno that are really committed on this path, and they want it. Like it's super hard to find people you connect like on a personal level,
Yeah,
and to find people that are also like committed then as you are, and to
100%. Yeah, and
they
easygoing.
easygoing, to see like they see the same version, but they work as hard as you do too. And that's something that has been a lifelong dream, and that
Amazing.
came into it's now reality. Basically, I've been looking for this situation for so long.
Yeah, you manifested it.
Yeah, like in high school, like
Yeah,
when I
yeah,
built that game, I had like a
yeah.
daydream about the
Mhm.
situation I'm right now in, and that's
Like,
like 8 years ago or something.
Robin, how does it feel to be someone's dream? You're muted, bro.
Yeah.
How does it feel? That's a good question. I don't know.
I'm joking with you, bro. Like he doesn't.
I'm just happy to be here.
That's good. That's good.
No,
All right. So
I'm
so now we're gonna transition more into like the product and stuff.
Yeah.
That first part was kind of just to loosen your imagination, kind of remind you of what you're working for and all of that. So what are your superpowers before we begin? Like if you were gonna in relation to the business, like uh I think I know the answers, but what do you guys think are your superpowers?
You
for
want to
me.
start, Robin?
Yeah. For me, I'm a really good coder. Like I'm not there are really, really good coders which are just coding and everything's around the code, but I'm that kind of coder to build a product. People come to me with a problem and I find a solution that works and makes money. Okay. And I build it very fast. Second thing is I don't give a shit. I am super, disciplined. I have a goal in mind and do everything to achieve that goal. Doesn't matter if it takes years, doesn't matter if it takes days, doesn't matter how hard it is. I will do it and I will get there sooner or later. And I'm really, I would say a generalist. I understand stuff quickly. I know my game through, the business stuff, the startup stuff, I know my way through coding. I know my way, and everything that I don't know, I can learn really quickly. And I have good connections. I would say these are summed
And
up my superpowers.
what about you, Josh?
I think I have the perfect foundation to get insanely good at anything.
Hmm.
Also generalist, but I think I have a really good knack for content, attention, and to be approachable in some way. People just reach out to me, or mention me somewhere.
Hmm.
Sometimes I have no idea what led to it actually. Like I just get tagged under certain stuff.
Hmm.
And um, I think I'm really good at being convincing.
Hmm.
I can, if I get on a call, I'm pretty sure if I get on a call with somebody right now that is struggling on X to build in public, to build his personal brand, pretty sure I can close him on Poster.
That's a
Until
good.
now,
That's a good.
because up to now, I think I have a 100% close rate of everyone I hopped on a call with. And
Nice.
I showed them exactly how they can use Poster to get where they want to be faster, better. And there's something else that is kind of related to it. I can look at your profile on X or at your content, and I can tell you what you should improve if you want to get more views, if you want to get more followers, if you want to attract more clients. I think that's something, it's not a hard skill, it's not yet there, but I think it's something that is getting there just by like as a effect of me doing the calls with the users and something. And
That'll be good. It'll be a good lead magnet for post.
yep, that's something we're working on right now.
Yeah. Like profile, profile analyzer or something like that.
Yeah.
That'll be a really cool lead magnet.
Yeah. And there's
All
the
right.
last thing I'm really good at, I think. The last thing.
Yeah.
I know how to view things from, let's say we are pitching Poster to a really non-technical person.
Mhm.
I think I have a pretty good eye for how they are going to perceive it. Or let's say the things you mentioned when you did our landing page roast.
Mhm.
I was like, I understood immediately what you were getting at, and you could also transfer that to the inside of the product.
Yeah,
I know,
empathy basically is what you described.
I know what, empathy to a certain degree, but I also know how does Poster have to look,
Mhm.
so it gains a lot of attention.
Mhm.
Like what do we build and how do we design it?
Yeah.
So
Like an
if a
attention
product that,
connoisseur, kind of like
yeah,
you know
yeah,
what grabs
right,
attention.
yeah.
Oh, um, all right, sounds good. All right, so any of you want to pitch Poster? Like, what is the offer?
The offer right now with screen recording or without?
No, just pitch it. Just like
Pitch it.
elevator pitch. No, just
Okay, basically, Poster will help you to build your personal brand faster by,
That's not a pitch. Describe it. Like tell me what it does exactly.
okay, Poster will take up information about you, your business,
Mhm.
or your personal expertise, or anything like a domain of authority, and allows you to put the information into Poster, and it will transform that information into ready to post content for LinkedIn, Reddit, or X with just one click. And it allows you to build up a content library with ideas, hooks, or anything that you could use to like never run out of things to say on a daily basis, and to have a good foundation to post daily and to build your brand on X, Twitter, Twitter, Reddit, or LinkedIn. So that's
Okay,
basically it, I would say.
you got the parts mixed up, but post-ready content is kind of what you're selling, right?
Yeah.
And the background information is secondary, right? You led with that, and when you
Yeah.
pitch, you always want to start with this is what you're getting. We
Yeah.
help you make viral content, whatever, and the way
Yeah.
we do that is by getting your background information,
Sure.
giving you ideas for posting, give you ideas for hooks, give you ideas for content. I like this separation between hooks and content, by the way. I don't know if I know there's no separation in the app, but that would be
Yeah.
great if you can just browse hooks,
Yeah.
just ideas and just browse hooks and then also browse content. That would be cool. All right. Describe how you got your first sale.
Basically, I was in Africa. I implemented a payment in some barber shop
Mhm.
because it was the only
That
place
was
that had
epic.
Wi-Fi.
Yeah. That was an epic
And
post. Like
yeah,
that was one of those posts. Like last year it was Joshua doing all the coffee stuff, and then Omar spilling the coffee on the on his computer. That made my year. And like this year it was Robin's Africa trip, and everybody's like, "Oh no, what country in Africa?"
yeah. Stop saying Africa.
Yeah, stop
Africa
saying
is not a
Africa.
country.
Yeah, it was
Um,
great. But yeah, so you were at the barber shop. you you built your street thing.
yeah.
And then what happened?
And the plan was like the product was it was really buggy, and
Mm.
we were like unsure if anyone would pay. And the thing it was like, okay, how do we get people to pay in the thing that we have right now? And it was just like, we just make it super cheap.
Mhm.
We make like, instead of paying 29 per month, we just say, okay, pay us 29 per year and you get it forever. And like, was Dan the first customer, Joshua?
Yeah. No, Dan
Dan?
wasn't the first one, but like people from that followed me or Robin, they reached
Mhm.
out to us and was like in the Twitter DMs, and they were like, hell yeah, this sounds like a no-brainer. And that's something I would recommend to everybody. To get that first customer, make it a no-brainer.
Mhm.
Like
The
the
no-brainer
value,
is key.
yeah, the value on the other side of the money has to be like customers have to feel dumb by saying no to that offer.
Yeah.
And that was definitely the key, because we got like the first 10 just like this.
Amazing. And it was you said Dan was one of your first customers, like grappling Dan?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You hit,
What?
I think he hit us up like me. I think he
Yeah.
sent the post and was like, bad.
Okay. Yeah, he's the most like he one time he was invited to co-host the space
Yeah.
and he said nothing in that space. He's the least spoken person, you know. It's great. He just said like maybe, yeah, all right, or something. All
Okay,
right.
that's weird, because we hopped on a user call with him, and it
Yeah.
was actually, I think the first user call or something was
Yeah.
with Dan. It's
Mhm.
really good feedback.
He's good. Yeah, he's so good with design and stuff, and he
Yeah.
has like a history in software education, so he's like Russian.
Yeah.
All right. So who are you serving?
Basically anybody that is on Twitter or Reddit or LinkedIn and that tries to grow their personal brand. We just we div like we split them up in different groups. Indie hackers, people that are like more in the Twitter growth niche, you could say. We split them up between freelancers and, let's say, creators or like solo founders, people that run an agency. And the main key here is they are really invested in growing their brand on X or these platforms, because they are generating inbound leads.
Mhm.
And like their brand, they do it, they're invested in it for personal brand purposes, but also for the business. And that's the people we are targeting on. And to get more specific, we're looking especially for people between maybe 500 and 2,000 followers or 2,500 followers that are posting a lot but are seeing no results. And that's the people we want to help, because that's the stage we have passed, like we gone past, and we know what kind of value it can have if you got X figured out. We
I
are
like
getting
it.
you there.
Anybody on social trying to grow their brand, indie hackers, freelancers, agency owners that have 500, 2,500 followers, and they're like plateauing, basically.
Yeah, they're plateauing,
Uh,
they're struggling on all ends when it comes to reach, getting
yeah,
followers, and getting leads.
yeah. Um, it's kind of broad, and
Bro,
it doesn't.
we have customer avatars though,
Yeah, who are they? Like the indie hacker, the freelancer, and the agency owner.
and founders, yeah. And then some other people like in a whole different niche besides the build in public space or tech space. They're really focused on, they're offering ghostwriting services, for example. Um,
Freelancers.
Also freelancers, but it's not like a design freelancer, or it falls under the same category. But it's a very different niche from the build in public space or tech space on Twitter.
Yeah,
But that's some, yeah.
yeah. They're different, but like I still think this can be expanded a lot.
Okay.
So there's a bunch of ways to look at this, right?
Yeah.
When you solve for extremes, usually you can find opportunities to improve your product. So for an example of that is, you know, the brand OXO, Good Grips. It's a utensil brand. They sell whatever, peelers, knives, kitchen equipment. Okay, and the founder's wife has arthritis, so he made these products that she can use basically without hurting her hands. And because she's an extreme use case, and he was optimizing for comfort, everybody loved it, and it's now one of the biggest kitchen utensil brands, right? So when you're thinking about postal, right, can you think of an extreme use case like that?
I would say writing, simplifying content creation that specifically focuses on building a brand that creates leads for companies.
How's that an extreme use case?
That would be, for example, Adam.
Okay.
Adam Burgess, the designer. That's one really specific use case we see we can like fulfill over and over. Again, he already is really invested on X and his personal brand, but he was, I think, around 1.8K followers. He has a design studio. He offers like freelance design services and landing page designs. And he was reaching out to us because he was stagnating on X. He couldn't get past 500 views, even though the designs he posted, they were like kick-ass, like they were really good. And
yeah,
then
he does, like, he's now doing animation stuff. He's pretty good.
And so what we did was we hopped on a call with him, and then I gave him like a profile audit, and I explained him how he could use Postal to improve certain things, and some stuff besides that he should change. And
But
then I
that's kind of the
explained,
middle of the bell curve, right? Like that is like almost the target market is basically people who want to grow and get leads, right? They have an intention behind growth other than brand, which is to bring in leads. That is dead middle, I think, of the bell curve.
okay, you want one
I want
even
the
more
extremes.
specific. Okay, the extreme would be someone
Like somebody who wants to do 10,000 posts or something, you know, like, I don't know, but can you think of like a use case like that? Somebody who's going to use it in like almost power user mode.
Yeah, I have another one. Not power user mode, but more similar to the arthritis thing.
Yeah.
I hopped on a call with somebody, grown like 9 to 5. He wants to escape the rat race. He sees how these people, Mark Liu, and like other on that level, right? They have a big following. They can launch to them. He sees that as like a necessity to build like a following. He doesn't find the time. Day job, family life, only 2 hours a day. And if he spends that 2 hours a day coming up with content that doesn't perform, he sees no way out of this. Like he can't juggle building and building his brand on X. And then I told him, like, okay, listen, this is something exactly what we are building Postal for. Like, we want to simplify the process for you, optimize it, optimize the outcome for maximum reach. And it's still true to whatever you want to tell the world and whatever kind of message you want to get out there. And that's a perfect scenario because that's the reason why Robin and me started to build it also.
Yeah.
I was running out of time, like writing content for clients. Robin, he ran out of time, like juggling Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube, and building. And that's one of those more extreme use cases. Only 2 hours a day has to do like house
yeah, I like it. The extreme use case there is that he has an extreme constraint of time.
Yeah.
And you help them solve that extreme constraint. Can you think of anything else?
Another one would be, let's take a founder, because we have one customer that is a founder. he knows he has to build a personal brand just in no time at all. But but a very
That's the same
another
constraint. That's the
yeah,
same
but
constraint.
there comes another, like, let's say, constraint. It has to be his voice. Like, it doesn't, like, he has a lot of phase or authority to lose because he is like venture backed and stuff. So the content he puts out, it is there's a high benchmark for it of quality. Like, it's not,
Yeah,
can't
the
be like an
identity is
AI
important.
slug. Yeah.
And how does Postal address that?
Yeah, we basically allow you to describe your writing style. We were working on like scraping your
Mhm.
content and analyzing that for you. And then it will pick up, train on your writing style on the content you already posted.
But isn't that counterintuitive? Like, just as a devil's advocate, like, isn't the reason why they're not getting attention is because their style is boring as hell?
No, he doesn't have struggled to get attention. He
He
needs
doesn't
help.
struggle or does struggle?
No, he doesn't.
Oh,
Like,
he
he
just doesn't
already
have the
has,
time?
he doesn't have the time. He looks for tools to make it faster again. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have an extreme in my mind,
Yeah.
and I don't know if you guys solve for that, but there's people that are founders, like you're saying.
Yeah.
Their identity is important, but they are too boring, and they are also extremely technical and don't know what to post, and like almost autistic level,
That's
detachment
almost
from.
every second indie hacker.
That's what I'm saying. But talking to that specific constraint, like with
Yeah.
the 9 to 5 person,
Mm.
right? You get on a call with a 9 to 5 person, you can quickly go to the time saving aspect and close them.
Mm.
Understanding what these pain points, which is the next question, is gonna help you go there on the call and close faster, right?
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, there are a lot of, that's what I see. A lot of people, for example, in the build and public space and tech space, they are highly talented,
mhm,
good designers, good builders. They're like super cracked.
mhm,
They can build like amazing products. When it comes to the packaging and presenting, they fall short because it's not anything they either don't have the talent for it or they don't have the knack for it, and they're
mhm.
not super invested in it. And that's where we want to come into play for this target group.
Okay,
And it's not,
let's look at another side of the market to kind
yeah,
of expand the thinking a little bit. So who are the tastemakers here? Like who is or the connoisseur, right? Like for example, like Apple, when they market their stuff, they market it to, you know, the people who think different, right? Like Albert Einstein and all, like these are the people who use Apple and they're like the tastemakers, right?
mhm,
You look at them, you're like, oh, what do they use? They use Apple. Not that Albert Einstein used Apple, but you know what I'm trying to say, right? Like, for example, Paul Graham for
mhm.
Founders, oh, what kind of notebook does he use? Does he use a certain kind of pen? Like, who's that connoisseur or tastemaker that if they use Poster adds a shit ton of credibility to it, or like people are gonna be like, oh my god, that person uses it? Hell yeah, I need to use Poster.
Depends on the niche, but I would say,
Let's
let's
take them
say,
one by one. We'll do one by one.
okay,
So
indie hacker space,
yeah, indie hackers,
maybe Florent Pop, Mark Liu,
Mark Luke, those guys,
Glue, definitely.
Mark Luke,
because
Florenta, Robin's
busy,
friends.
yeah, Robin's friend, yeah,
Okay,
would add a lot of credibility
all
because
right,
busy juggles, like, he's living that indie hacker dream life. If Poster comes into play and gets like connected to that, that's a
okay.
win,
And for
straight up.
freelancers,
Freelancers, maybe I don't know like a lot of big accounts, but I know some medium. Uh, maybe this guy from Design Joy.
all right. Design Joy, what's his name?
Yeah,
Brian?
I don't actually know, to be honest.
I think it's right.
I just know Design Joy.
Something Design Joy. Who cares?
Yeah,
Uh,
and maybe some medium to, yeah, like accounts around 10,000 would already be enough, I think.
Yeah.
Like the design edge is not too big.
Yeah, Design Joy. And then agency owners is kind of the same bucket.
Yeah, I would say depends on the agency. If we talk about freelance, like design agencies, there's like Alex.
Mhm.
I think that they can like just on the top of my mind. I would find some other, but for MVP agencies, Yanu, there's another guy, Praval. We already have one that I see there,
Mhm.
Zeus or Zeus.
Yeah. Zeus Inside.
Uh, Zeus inside, yes, he's
Yeah.
already using it.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's some couple people that would add a lot of credibility there.
Okay.
I would
And then for
love
founders,
for founders, you can go big here, but what do you say, Robin? Founders, one founder that uses Poster for his content.
Bro, I'm so bad at these questions.
there's a follow-up question to this, but I just want to
Yeah.
fix an avatar on each of these guys.
Some YC founder. Let's go with the founders
Like
of
a YC back
AI.
founder. Let's just call him YC back
Yeah.
founder. You know, doesn't
Okay.
have to. Your friend, what's his name?
Shazai.
Shazad.
Yeah.
How do you spell it?
SHI
Huh?
and then ZAI.
Okay, Shazai. YC back founder. And then lastly, the 9 to 5 guy wanting to break out.
I think
It's hard to find like a big guy there, right?
they're all small. They're all small.
But I think there's some of them who were 9 to 5 that did break out and now they're crushing it. Like, who do they look up to? The 9 to 5ers.
Mark
Say
Lu.
Mark Lu. Yeah.
Mark Lu?
Yeah.
All right. So let's take Mark Lu and put him as that guy. And then for the top indie hacker, we'll say Peter Levels, right?
Mm.
All right. So you got Peter Levels as the avatar for the indie hacker. All right. You got Design Joy as the avatar of the design agency owner. We'll do Yano for the software agency owner.
Mm.
Okay. And then finally, no, not finally, two more to go. You got Shizai, YC back founder. Okay. And then you got Mark Lu as the 9 to 5 icon, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you have one more. I think you can break out instead of doing freelancers and agency owners and X growth and all of that. You can say design freelancers or agency owners, software freelancers or agency owners to kind of make a separation there. You want to hit writing people. I don't think it's the best use of your time to do copywriters and all of that because,
Mm.
that's kind of their bread and butter is them writing bangers, right? But let's go down the list. Yanu's kind of like we know Yanu, so like I kind of want to create a little distance. But I don't know software agency owners.
I know one. I know another one.
Yeah.
I think I think his name is Rob. Or you could put Praval there.
But is there a big one? Like, because I want a little bit of star power on these to kind of make this exercise work a little better.
Yeah, those are the biggest ones I know, to be honest.
Yeah.
Those two.
Anyways, Yano can stay. He's a superstar. All right.
Yeah.
For Peter Levels, if you're gonna
Yes.
think, what would make Peter Levels fall in love with Post?
Difficult because I think he's at a point where he just posts shit. He doesn't really care. It just performs.
He's too big to fail. He wouldn't even be in the. I see.
But
Like
what do you think you can
What
offer
do
somebody like that?
I think he enters product and he gets a nice tweet that demos the product and gets some leads without him writing the post manually.
So the ideation thing, like the minimal input and the multiple ideas.
Not only ideas, complete posts.
So he just what like it does the screen studio stuff or just writing?
Just writing.
Mhm.
Like best, are we talking right now or optimal?
No. Dream scenario. Like what you think can be in postal that Peter Level's gonna be like, yeah, my shit performs, but I do like
He
to use
uploads
postal for
he uploads like a screen recording of the app he built, and he gets whole ass posts around the screen recording.
he uploads the screen recording and then it does the rest.
Yeah.
Screen recording.
another thing,
Yeah.
you can just hit a button,
Uh-huh.
talk,
Mhm.
and we put it into a tweet form.
Yeah. Talk to tweet. I like that feature. All right. What else?
Stats, in-depth stats.
Stats of what?
What type of topics perform, like real over-the-top stats? What kind of topics perform the best? Which people engage the most often with you? How toxic are the people in your comments?
I disagree with that. Peter doesn't
Okay.
care about that. He doesn't
Yeah,
care.
true. He's so big, but I think it's like or maybe something else, maybe a spin on something like that. That could be interesting, like something that gets you to join to have a look.
But how does that align with the content generation pitch? Like talk to tweets is good. Screen recording, upload the
Yeah.
tweet is good. Stats, I like where you're going with that idea. Like I
Yeah.
like the fact that Postal has like the trend analysis almost of virality on these platforms. But how do you use it exactly? Still to find out. But I like this kind of trend analysis thing. Let's
Another thing,
keep going.
another thing would be these things are trending and are right now trending in tech or in his space, in his niche. These are the posts you could make about them based on your timeline, based on the things you've written about. Let's call it your next tweet suggestion or something like that.
Your next tweet based on trend analysis and tweet like your timeline.
Yeah.
That's great. Your next tweet, I love it. Design Joe. Can you think of what'll make him fall in love with this?
He can just drag and drop a picture of whatever he designed, and Poster will come up with like something that is related and is optimized to gain a lot of reach, because that's, in my mind, that's what he wants. He doesn't struggle with that, of course, because he's already big, but
I don't
could
know about that,
simplify.
bro. Still, Feedback Fridays wording word for word. One
Oh,
day he's
really?
struggling. He's looking for ideas.
Okay. We should hit him up, maybe.
No,
But
he doesn't like that. Like I even did a roast of his website on one of the landing page reviews, and he made all the changes and also didn't give credit, nothing. Like literally, I posted the thing. Like 2 days later, all the things I said, he just implemented them and was like, "All right, thanks, see you." Uh, but he's a good avatar because this space, there's no likable people in it, and Adam maybe, but Adam needs to grow his following. But Dan's also fun. I like Dan.
Yeah. But okay,
But
let's get back to the
I like this design to tweet,
yeah.
design to post or whatever. You just upload the design or like a video if you're doing like a screen recording, any kind of thing, and it does analysis and does whatever.
Yeah.
Killer feature. What else for designers?
I think the ideas we mentioned for Peter Levitz apply also. Like speech to tweet would be killer feature, I
Mhm.
think, for them too. I mean, for almost
Yeah,
every
but think more
first
design stuff.
more design stuff.
You're just getting like focused tweets or ideas on design specific topics, you know.
Mhm.
You know, you saw, for example, Adam made a tweet where he just compared like semi-bold and bold font and he got like good responses.
Yeah.
That kind of thing, you know.
Yeah, like kind of like the trending thing, but more, pulling from history. Like this always works in design.
Kind of,
Yeah.
you know, everything just around design.
All right, for the software agency
Tech.
owner or freelancer.
He, you know, he says like he can enter what type of tech stack or what kind of products he builds or tech stacks he uses, and then he gets like on topic expertise content that's really tech specific, you know,
You
talking
know
about.
what? I was talking to this guy. His name is Josh. I think that I'm like friends with all the Joshes. Great. Yeah, Josh Van Eaton. He has something called Code to AI. Like code number 2.ai. And what he does is you run like an terminal command and it creates 3 files that kind of compresses the entire code base and makes it understandable to LLMs. And then you can just query the LLM from like a marketing side. So it's the same thing, code to a tweet, you know.
Yeah,
But
basically.
he built the technology that you can use in Poster to do that.
Yeah. I think another thing for them would be a thread writer that's come up with ideas that are threads that display that how to use like
Like almost
like
documentation.
not documentation, more like, okay, this is how I'm working with clients, for example.
Mhm.
And it comes up in the first stage we get on a call, like what you want, like I think the most valuable thing you could do as an agency owner is to display that you have authority. Basically, you know what you do. So in-depth analysis between cursor versus windsurf. Why I use cursor, it's faster. Write a
Mhm.
thread for that. Or how do I work with clients? This onboarding way is 10 times faster after I discovered another thread. And this type of content, I think, attracts a certain kind of lead that already is like warmed up. He knows, this guy knows what he's talking about.
Mhm.
And or something like a resume. These are the things I learned from my 10 last clients projects, something like that. And
Or
then you
maybe
also comes up with like a thread draft.
Yeah.
or tracking change logs of technologies for updates and then creating automatic posts on new features, on new supports, or, you know,
Yeah.
the hottest shit. Or
Yeah.
maybe just going different route, you know, just comparing case. This is the new AI and this is the possibilities how it could improve your business. So you get all the people that are not super technical, you
But
know.
these are just ideas of posts, both those things. I like the input inspired, like the easy input, attention grabbing output workflow that is kind of showing up again and again, like speech to tweet or whatever, speech to post.
Link to post. Link of a
Link to
blog post.
post, like exactly landing page to post,
Yeah.
code, whatever, like the Josh, code to AI thing. You take that, put it in, post it, and boom, it gives you posts about your code, change logs to post. This kind of direction is very intriguing and very cool. Like video to post, anything input comes out with like a viral post. Uh, is very cool. What you're describing is more of we have a trend analysis system that creates viral posts, and that's a system you can build and then link it together. But I do like this input to viral thing direction. I think it's because when Josh explained it to me, I'm like, this is no, but I want that because I don't want to describe all my code to AI, like if I can just hit a button, the AI understands it, and I can create marketing material from it, it'll be great. Okay, so the YC back, Shizai, what would he like? And the difference between him and all these other guys is that when you're YC backed or whatever, you're looking for funding too, right? So just keep that in mind. So what is something along those lines that you can think of?
Okay, he really doesn't like in this case. He already has funding. They don't struggle with that. What's important for him? He has like open source and communities, all the things. So he needs community.
Mhm.
So maybe support or like automatic, looking for posts where it's somehow mentioning anything relevant to his niche or to his startup, and then mentioning his product. Or someone needs help. Someone needs help. He replies instant, like, "This is no worries. We are here to help." Automatic DMs, like if someone DM'd them with like support question, like, "Okay, we're here." Then
That's going a
maybe
little too much out of scope, I think.
okay.
But I do like the tracking the mentions and then coming up with posts for them. Like they can then reply. If you can build it, it's great, add on, but it strays away from the core,
Okay.
thing where it's like, hey, we automatically generate posts for you depending on your circumstance.
Okay.
And I love this idea because it's like, kind of the Wendy's, how like they have like strong replies on everything, you haven't
We don't
seen
have
these,
Wendy's here. No.
but you haven't seen the posts. Come on, guys.
But maybe okay, then I get like for them it's like uh maybe connecting with their boards or tickets, and then if something is completed, a big feature or something, automatic post is generated, like oh or Stack Off now supports this big off announcement, just keeping.
Okay, so I just want to show you the Wendy's thing, right? So because it's ridiculous that you guys don't know this example, but let me share my screen real quick. Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
All right, so like look at this. If you reply, I'll buy the whole Wendy's menu right now. Prove it. Here's your proof. Thank you for sharing your baby pictures. While you're like this, we try to keep it friendly, but we aren't here to get triced by someone. Like just
Yeah.
here we go, another one. McDonald's. Today we've announced that by mid 2018, all Cofounders burgers at the majority of our restaurants will be cooked with fresh beef. McDonald's. So you still use frozen beef in most of your burgers in all of your restaurants, asking for a friend. Like it has its own voice, right? And it
Yeah.
kind of looks for these opportunities.
Yeah.
And like coupled with your like whatever like trend analysis live situation, finding these opportunities like, hey, you can post here to capture this whatever trend, or your customer said this about your product, you can reply with this. I really like this idea. So this monitoring of, hey, what is my brand looking like and how can I capitalize with content is such it's a high level, like it's a product by itself, but you know I like this idea. Okay, Mark Blue, the 9 to 5ers. Or do you have anything to add to the kind of founder that's already kind of seeing success? They have
I think
back and all
community
this.
building for them is like the biggest
Yeah,
aspect, actually. Yeah, I like that part.
yeah. The community stuff was great. Like such spot on response by Rob.
Mark
Uh,
Liu,
yeah, the 9 to 5er, or like Mark Lou before he, became Mark Lou.
I think it's pretty similar to what we said for Peter Levitz, like making a screenshot of what he built, getting posts, and making it super easy and super quick to get good posts.
I think it's also something that we already have implemented, like we scrape the landing page of the project and then coming up with tweets that gain them a lot of attention, because that's what is important to them, I think. getting a lot of eyeballs and website traffic to their projects, like because that gives them a lot of confidence, right? That's the end
Yeah, it's
result
like
they're looking
the
for.
starter pack, the postal
Yeah.
starter pack. Because I'm
Yeah.
thinking like if you guys do like 100-day challenge,
Yeah.
you know, if it, like you can say, hey, if you use postal for 100 days and you use post generated by postal for 100 days and you don't get to a certain follower count by the end of the 100 days, we'll give you your money back. Something like that.
That's a great idea. Yeah.
That's a good
Yeah,
idea.
that shit would crush.
Yeah.
All right, what are these guys' pains? If you want to, you know, let's go back naming them. You know, they're not Peter levels and whatever. Or if you want to stick with Peter levels, or you just want to say indie hacker, we can say indie hacker.
It's easier for indie hackers because
Yeah.
Peter Levels, he is already at the top. Like there's nothing to gain for this guy.
Yeah, but the problem I'm having with indie hacker
Yeah.
is the separation between the indie hacker and the 9-to-5er that's trying to break out.
I'd say the 9-to-5 is just a version of the indie hacker that's trying like, well, it almost is the same group, to be honest.
So yeah, you want to just cancel the 9-to-5 and just say indie hacker?
Yeah.
Yeah, so indie hacker is basically a broke founder who hasn't made it yet. This is what you're trying to say. Beginner founder.
Beginner founders, yeah.
Yeah, let's call them beginner founders. It's friendly. Yeah, beginner founders. So you got your beginner founder,
Mm.
and then you got your venture back slash whatever. Yeah, the venture back founder, but it can also be just founders that are crushing it, right? Then you got your design agency, or yeah, design agency owners that can also be freelancers, right? And then software agency owners. Are we missing anybody? No. Those are your 4 main avatars, right? All right. And then in terms of sophistication of features, the order is beginner founders, design agency owners, software agency owners, venture-backed founders, or what do you guys think?
Maybe just agencies and founders as enough.
But it's different use cases for the design and the software agency.
True, it is, yeah.
And it's also different use cases between the founder that doesn't have customers and the founder that has tons of customers and community and all this stuff.
Yeah.
But I mean in terms of the features that right now exist, and then you're trying to build the difficulty of building these features, right? Does it go from beginner founder, design agency owners, software agency owners, venture-backed founders, or you think like who can you crush? Right now, you're saying the beginner founders are the target for now, right? Because you don't have the image or video to tweet
Yeah.
yet,
Yeah.
Yet.
right? And the software to tweet yet, you don't have that. And the speech to tweet, you can build that by the end of this week.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's start with the beginner founder. What are their pain points if you're going to pinpoint their pain points?
Not knowing how to write or package whatever they're trying to say in a way it performs.
Bad packaging. What else?
Yeah. Coming up with ideas after like when I have like little to no time because they really focus on building. It's like a very hard context switching, going from building, being deep in the code to, okay, I have to come up with like something creative now that maybe goes viral.
So the pain is they're exhausted or time crunch, right?
Yeah, the pain is also not being skilled in that, like not being able to write a good tweet.
Yeah. Skill issues. So bad packaging, which is also a skill issue. exhausted, time crunched. The skill to write is what you're saying? Like the skill, how's that different from bad packaging? I guess the
Okay.
pain, yeah, let's maybe drill down. What is the pain of bad packaging? It's the skill thing.
It's basically you can put anything into a structure where it's more likely to perform. I don't know how to word that.
But
Do you know?
that's the problem. But what is
That's
the
the problem.
underlying
Yeah.
pain?
The pain is not getting views, not getting attention. Like,
Yeah, lack of
yeah,
attention.
yeah,
And yeah, so it's attention and the time thing is the two biggest pains with the
yeah,
beginner
and
founder, right?
and
Uh,
feeling like not getting attention. Yeah, not seeing like results on
yeah,
Twitter. No followers,
yeah,
no
lack of results,
lack of
lack
results.
of
Yeah.
growth. Yeah, like, uh, and that makes you feel. What does that make you feel if you're not getting results? Whatever, frustration, time wasting.
Depends on what stage you are, no? Right? But I think over time it can get like you lose like confidence, like in
Mm-hmm.
your projects, and your if Twitter is like the main thing to get like eyeballs on your project, you lose a lot of confidence, I think.
Yeah,
And
confidence shaking, right? That's good.
yeah, and
What else? Like
maybe
from
also hope,
hopelessness.
because
Yeah,
yeah, and what else? So you're building,
yeah.
I think those are the two biggest things actually.
Is
Yeah.
that confident? It's confidence shaking not to get the results you want. It creates this hopelessness.
Yeah.
And then with the time crunch, feeling exhausted and all of that, and you don't have time for that.
Overwhelmed.
It's overwhelming. Okay.
Yeah.
FOMO, I think, is a big one there.
FOMO too, yeah.
Uh, yeah, it's overwhelming, but they have this like, oh my God, I'm missing out on this action. All right, design agency owners, what are their pain points?
Not getting enough attention that funnels into their offer. So not getting leads.
No
Um,
leads,
no leads, no attention on their design, no feedback.
attention, no feedback.
But I think the leads part is the biggest for the
It's the
agencies, the
biggest.
owners. Yeah. They
Yeah, so like it's the emotion they're hitting there is what, like scarcity?
Anxiety, I would say.
yeah.
Yeah,
Anxiety
anxiety, like,
because
yeah.
what if I don't get any leads? I will not be able to pay my rent, make a living. What if I have to go back to 9 to 5?
Yeah, exactly. It's anxiety, it's fear. You're right. And with software agency owners, what do you
Same
think?
It's the
thing.
same thing.
Same as this like anxiety, fear thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, all right. And the venture-backed founder, what are they? What are their pains?
I
Not seeing
would.
growth.
Mm,
But
I
what does that mean? Like in terms of pain?
I don't think growth is the main issue. Like
Yeah.
it's one issue,
Mhm.
but I think the main thing is like not having enough time or and like the means of building a brand on X or Reddit or LinkedIn.
Time and means.
Because means in terms of resources, like usually if you look at like small startups, 3 persons,
Mhm.
and they're all like complete deep in shit, you know.
Yeah,
And
so it's
like
the overwhelm is mostly
it's
like,
overwhelming.
yeah,
So,
it's overwhelming. Like, oh my God, so many people reaching out. How am I gonna deal with all this shit? Yeah. So Robin, whenever you can leave, you can just leave. We'll continue with Josh.
Yeah, Robin he's like in the middle of moving out. But yeah, where were we?
We were describing the pains and
The pains.
what do people pay to get out of pains?
Yeah.
I think I want to keep pushing on this
Yeah.
to kind of help you think outside these are my competitors versus these are what my potential customers pay for
Yeah.
to get out of pain
I think
that we're
it
addressing.
comes, yeah, there are many things that people want, I think, in this regarding the pains, like depending on the customer group, but it comes down to three things, I think. They want guidance, that and they pay for that in the forms of either courses or like consulting calls. They want somebody to talk to.
Mhm.
And then they want like depending on the group again, either a done for you solution or something that helps them speed up the process. And that's either a tool, could be ChatGPT, or like a freelancer or like one of the competitors. But overall, it comes down to these things, I think.
Yeah.
And yeah, there are many things addressing that, but I think it always comes down to either you get in touch with somebody that is like let's call it brand strategist or consultant in that space.
Mhm.
This guy could offer like one-to-one calls or has like a course or like
Yeah.
a ebook or something that he sells to them. Or they already are a bit more, let's say, how do you say? They already know this kind of stuff and they just want to speed up the process. So they're looking for tools that could
Yeah. I
be,
think the big difference between the beginner founder and the agency owners is you're describing the agency owners, what they do to get out of pain. And for the overwhelming fear of missing out, I don't know where to start. It's more they don't pay for these things yet. What do you think they're paying money for? Because they feel overwhelmed. Like they're like, oh my God, I have this 9 to 5. I want to break out. I have these ideas. They might pay for like a community, even
yeah.
them spending time. Time is usually not a good because usually like, oh, don't waste time. But because I'm trying to think also, what do these people pay for? Because they don't pay for much. They pay for like food and stuff, right?
Yeah. I
You
mean,
know,
basic necessities and just like tools to build the projects, I think. But like you
like, is there a
mean,
way for you to give them a tool they can use at work that maybe boost their productivity or something like that? Or I don't know. Just thinking out loud.
like just overall or regarding to growing
Like
on
Mark
X?
Lu crushes this niche, right? The 9 to 5 workers,
Absolutely, yeah.
and his thing is time, right? Like the not minutes but seconds, not seconds but microseconds.
Yeah. I think
You
that
know,
I think there's some angles on like free tools you could give out, maybe as a lead magnet or something,
yeah.
that improves, like that eases the pain of okay, what do I post about when I come
Mhm.
back from work? I don't want to spend so much time on thinking about it. I would just like I think for these people, they want to get out of the 9 to 5, and the most important part is building actually, like getting a product done. And then they don't want to like posting is more like a chore. They don't want to actually do it. It gets them out of the actual activity that is important for them. And there are some things you could do to get them like to ease that pain. Maybe a free tool
Instead of
that
free, maybe because they do use OpenAI, right? Or
sure, yeah.
ChatGPT or whatever,
Yeah.
and that's $20 a month, and you're $20 a month,
Yeah.
or like similar ballpark. Is there a way for you to convince them to cancel their subscription with OpenAI and pay you instead?
If they use OpenAI for building as well, I think that's hard.
But they
Like,
might use Cursor. You're like, hey, just
yeah,
pay for Cursor and pay for us. You don't have to pay for these other LLMs that you're not using.
yeah, I think, okay, let's say they use something and they pay $20 for a month, and it's mostly used for content.
Mhm.
I think a big part of it is that we do a lot of things they would have to do, meaning giving, like, collecting the context about them, coming up with the writing style. What ChatGPT doesn't for, like, let's say, let's stick with ChatGPT, right? What it doesn't do for you is like the research, like what is trending right now, what kind of formats are actually working. If you ever tried ChatGPT and like just one shot prompted for like content,
Mhm.
it's the most inauthentic AI slop stuff you get. So it's not working. And what we will do for you, and that is going to make people switch, I think, from, let's say, other things for content, is that we will streamline that process, and then just get you quicker to a better result. And
Mhm.
we give you like the foundation to think it has to be so much better,
Yeah.
that it's like a no-brainer to switch. And I think that comes down to the content, to the context, so the research part of it, and then just like also like the, let's say, the playground. You have like all the ideas, like you have like that one workspace to come up with content, or
Yeah.
to organize your thoughts, your content, your posts, and then from there you can just hit post or schedule.
Yeah. And I'm thinking about like, oh, what are the options to get out of pain when you're in that position, right? And then it might be Ahrefs. I want to look into SEO, or I want to look into
Oh yeah.
stuff like that, maybe. And maybe there's a way to position. Anyways, I don't want to beat a dead horse here.
Yeah.
Um, but let's also think about the big use case, which is the founder use case, right? The funded founder that has 20-person team, maybe they have 10 people in their content team, and you can sell them a license per
Yeah.
user, right?
Yeah. That's
Uh,
something we already have set up. Like,
the team, the organization stuff, yeah, you should.
yeah.
Yeah. So what is the unlock there? Like, how do you get them out of that pain of overwhelm with that?
Mm, what are they using right now? Maybe I can answer better than.
Uh,
Or
like
are they doing it like,
monitoring tools, maybe something like that.
yeah.
Uh, you know, CRMs
Mm. I
is,
would say maybe just one, like, imagine HubSpot just for your brand and content.
but is that something you think you guys want to build, like contextual content, where it's like this is for this part of the funnel, this is for that, these are the people in this funnel, or is that something a little out of scope?
That's more like out of scope, I think. Yeah. But
Yeah,
you could use Postal in a way.
to set up
We don't
content
want to,
funnels.
not exactly, but we want to give you the ability to, let's say, like setting up the content funnel and then tracking everything. That's out of scope.
Not
That's not what.
tracking it, but like, is there a way to create buckets of libraries?
Yeah,
You know what I
that's
mean?
what we are. Yeah, yeah, that's what we are. So what you could do is provided the context for
Uh-huh.
one specific, let's say, stage in the content funnel. And then the goal would be to just before generating content or creating content, you can select the, let's say, a bit similar to projects in Cloud. You can
Mhm.
select that specific context you gave to Poster to only like come up with stuff for this part of the background information.
Mhm. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm kind of thinking, is that,
Yeah,
how you have like the posts thing, the
yeah,
libraries, like within that, there's different buckets.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
yeah, I
this
was
is
more thinking, yeah,
yeah.
I was more thinking like from the creation part, but that's something that is
Because they want
missing right now.
organization. Like overwhelm is solved with organization processes,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
And the way to organize that with your platform is to do that, is to have basically right now you have an instance for one bucket, the
yeah.
way it's set up. And if you can set up those contexts, those libraries, the inspiration, you can just maybe have a click. But in the posts, you can have maybe like tabs at the top that you can
Mm.
create to kind of organize your library of posts. Say, hey, for people in the awareness stage, you know, this is the posts. For
Yeah.
people that are warmer, these are the posts. For
Mm.
people that are you want to close them, these are the posts. So you can kind of and this can also work for all the users, right? Like
Yeah,
Adam,
yeah.
for example. Adam, you're talking about leads. And for Adam, he his content strategy, if he talks to a content strategist, that knows anything about marketing, is gonna come down to the sales funnel.
Mm.
They're gonna say this is the top of the funnel, this is the content you create for top of the funnel, middle of the funnel, bottom of the funnel, and you kind of create content for that. And if there's a way to easily organize that visually in Postel, that would be a big unlock, I think.
Yeah, I have to write it down.
Okay. So what is the magic trick for Postel?
There
Yeah,
are a
what's
couple
that?
of ones that come to mind. Like the strongest one would be actually, so I had a couple of days ago, Adam and me had a call,
Mm,
and the day after that he bought, no, I think right after that he signed up for Postal,
mm,
and he was like, that was a great call. I now know how to use Postal for my goals. And the day after that he messaged me, dude, I came up with this post because of Postal. I gained like I finally crossed 2,000 followers. I
mm.
gained like X followers overnight, 2 days in a row.
Yeah, so the results,
Yeah,
showing
so
that result.
basically
Yeah.
before post, like not a slider, but maybe like two
Yeah, yeah,
posts.
it doesn't have to be a slider. It's
Yeah,
just what is one image one person can see and be like,
yeah.
hey,
That's exactly what I still want to implement on the landing
yeah.
page. Like before, no reach, no followers, no attention. And then afterwards, and then the post that got like, I think Adam got like almost 40K with that post. And then he could plug his landing page for his design offer under the post. That was like a day after signing up and having like the
That
call.
is killer to have your testimonial section like that.
Yeah, that's why what I'm working on right now on like to put on a landing page. There's another one. There are
Yeah.
multiple things like that could work. I think for people that are like the results or the proof, that's a non-negotiable. That should be on a landing page. There's
100%. But
an
I'm telling you, a cool way to do it is every testimonial,
yeah,
right? Oh, poster was great, crushed it, whatever. At the bottom, you have like before average impressions, after average impressions, and just have that for every testimonial, you know,
yeah,
that
yeah,
would
that's a
crush.
good idea.
But in terms of like above the fold, can you think of something even more striking than that?
I kind of fell in love with the speech to tweet
Mm-hmm.
feature.
Switch the voice.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah, because let's say, like, most of the times for me personally, I told myself I'm going to post every day to never lose the habit, right? The biggest bottleneck for me is sometimes coming up with ideas. But there are sometimes there's these moments where I get like just like a random thought and I want to get it out there.
Mm-hmm.
But I know for a fact if I just type it in as I'm thinking it, like exactly word by word, it wouldn't perform.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's going to disappear in the void. I would love that feature for myself to, hey, this is what I'm thinking. And then I get like different type versions. And I know, okay, each of these versions, they have maybe slightly different angles, but all of them they're packaged in a way they're going to perform. So that thing goes out of the window, that overhead that I have to package my thoughts. And I think speech to tweet, that's the fastest way. And
Yeah.
the magic trick on the landing page or for poster that we could display is just making that feature for free. People can hit a button on the landing page, talk to it, and they will get the tweet. And then
That'd
maybe
be cool. Yeah.
just rate limit that maybe so people don't actually
Yeah,
abuse it. But that's something.
But what's nice about that is that if it doesn't have an upload feature, maybe like in the paid one you have upload, so you don't have to rely on postal to record the voice note. You can just be like, hey, go out and walk, use the voice recorder, and just come in here and upload the thing.
Yeah.
But with going on the landing page and pressing record and actually recording your voice, there's already a rate limit built in.
Yeah.
Because it's as long as it takes you to talk or whatever.
Yeah,
right?
true. Yeah.
So, and you can't come in and hit like 100 voice files, and get like 100 posts, you know what I mean?
You're right. But yeah, that could be another magic trick for sure.
Like,
I think
I
that's
love that idea.
and another one would be same method.
Hmm.
You drop an image
Hmm.
and we come up with a tweet idea for you.
Hmm.
So image to tweet.
Yeah, image tweet is great.
Or another one, I think all these flows we have already discussed them. They're like for us on the roadmap, right? That's something we envision under the repurpose flow in Poster. So these things are already things that we have written down, but
But
YouTube video,
prioritization is
yeah,
the name of the
like
game right now.
what's the banger
Yeah, what's
of
gonna move the
these?
needle for you guys? Yeah,
Yeah,
I like
and
that. Yeah, the speech to post one is great.
yeah, like speech to post, blog post to like
Yeah.
to tweet, YouTube video to tweet, podcast
Hmm.
to tweet. Basically, you saw something and you want to post about it. Something has caught your attention. You think it's nice. It's like it has sparked that need to get your word out of it. And we want to simplify that process by making able to capture it, transforming it into the first draft for your tweet. So you don't have to start from zero. And a lot of parts struggle with they struggle with the blank slate, right? It's much easier to work with something once you already can see it. It's easier to improve something than to start from zero.
Absolutely. What are the quality factors? Like, what would make someone say, wow, like, like they go on your platform, they start doing stuff. What are the moments that will make them say, hell yeah, this shit is awesome?
I'm pretty sure these features and then a really good visual way of conveying the message. Okay, we have taken your input. We are now going through viral posts. And now we are packaging it. Like we can't do that in the background as we talked about it, right? It doesn't get conveyed that we actually use a ton of viral posts to optimize your whatever you want to say for reach. We have to convey that visually. Like we have to.
Yeah, and it can be artificial. It doesn't even have to be synced with anything.
Yeah, there just needs to be something that tells the user, okay, it can just be loading and then pairing it with
100%. Yeah, no, but
something like that.
Exactly. It's the loading thing. Like it takes time to load the thing. You can just add an extra second or 2 seconds to make it readable, right? Analyzing whatever, boom, and then it comes out.
And then maybe some like
presentation.
Yep, some packaging, some nice fluff just around it. So the user gets it like um it comes down to the presentation for me. Like the wow effect is going to be okay. My thought is now going into this black box, and I know they are going to pair it with like a good viral post. So it's optimized for reach. And if the user gets that, that's going to be the wow effect. Because right now, where we're at, all those stuff is happening in the background. So the user gets hit with like a
Posts.
random,
Yeah.
just the post, the finished result, and the perceived value of that is far lower when you like compared to the other case where you kind of show, okay, which like we are grabbing now viral posts that are fitting to your idea, combining it, coming up with the hook, stuff like that.
Mhm.
Increases
no.
the perceived value. And I think the wow effect is then just over like we have to make it so simple and intuitive to use.
Mhm.
That one of our benchmark is one click, one action, outcome. That's one of we don't want to make it more complicated than this
Almost like
for the user.
ChatGPT or Google search or something like that, where you just
Yes, like
land and
yeah,
it's boom.
it has to be so intuitive that
But how come you haven't optimized for that? Yet it seems like such an easy problem to tackle UI wise.
how come we haven't optimized for it? There has been a learning. Like we launched the MVP,
Mhm.
and the main thing we were focused about was like talking to users firstly, and then we discovered like some other more urgent
Mhm.
problems.
Oh,
And
you just got
now,
carried away with this is urgent, this is urgent, this is urgent, but you didn't take a step back and be like,
yeah,
hey
like
guys.
there were like some bugs we have to fix first,
Mhm.
like the rough edges, and now we have the foundation to finally like push the actual product to where we want it to be. And that's like we had a long call yesterday in the team where we specifically discussed this part of the product for a long time, and we have decided that's actually the most important thing, like to
I
keep
love it.
it as simple, to optimize like the research and collecting enough context about the user, take out like all the pain points the user has right now with that, and then make the content creation process like give it that wow effect.
Love it.
And I think like I'm pretty confident once we got that down step by step, it's going to be like really easy to display and market, especially like there are a lot of people outside also of the customer group we discussed earlier.
Mhm.
Once they see that, like once we got all those features done, image to tweet, speech to tweet, website or YouTube video to tweet, that's really easy to present on TikTok. And I think if that's the case, once you reach that benchmark, kind of the idea and the value you want to convey is at the right spot. If
Yeah,
you can show it on
especially
TikTok,
when you pair it with results. Like,
yeah,
hey, like the video is basically, hey, blah, blah, blah,
yeah.
post, and then you hit post, and then you see the impressions going up.
Right.
Yeah.
If it can be like in a TikTok video, it's like you hit the right benchmark for me.
Mhm.
And that's where we're heading, like step by step. It takes
I like that idea. Yeah.
far longer than I want it to be. That's like a personal learning curve. Like I'm way too impatient.
Mhm.
But like let's put it this way, unsatisfied with the results,
Mhm.
but very like enjoying the process and the journey a lot.
Yeah,
Like the day by day grind, I love it.
that's great.
Yeah.
All right. What is the hero feature, or like, what is the moat, like the protection? Like, what is something that makes you special that you're kind of confident in,
The mode of the product, or
even if it doesn't exist currently?
I think overall that 66% of the founder team
Mhm.
are actually in the niche.
Mhm.
Robin and me, we are both building in public. We know how it is to grow on X. We know what works. We have gone viral a couple times. We
Mhm.
know how to engineer a post. Like we actually know the stuff we are trying to produce, trying to get other people as outcomes, right?
Mhm.
And we know the pain.
Mhm.
So that's from the founder team. We've got like we can build it. we have now the first 23 paying customers in a month. I think that's solid traction for the state the product is right now in. And so the mode to some part is of definitely the team, like a good, let's put it, founder problem fit maybe. And another mode would be the approach we take into this. I can't disclose too much just because
It's fine.
out of the fear of
You can't
being
disclose
copied.
it. The customer's not gonna know. So
Yeah.
think about it from a customer perspective. Like, what is something that they can say, yeah, but it's not Postal because Postal does XYZ.
Okay, it's not Postal because Postal transforms whatever I think or whatever I found on the internet into the perfect tweet for myself. It sounds like me. It knows my context. It knows what I've been posting about. It just knows me, and I know what I want to say, and it puts it in the way it's most likely to perform.
So it's the
So
Twitter thing. So now the next kind of question,
yeah,
that might hurt a little bit and might
yeah.
take a little courage to execute. But what's with the Reddit thing?
We have discussed this yesterday night, and we decided to first build Twitter out because all of our users uh, jumped on Poster because of Twitter. And we want to build, basically what we do is we build the first vertical. So Twitter, we finish that, and then we move on to the next one if we see that users actually want that. But for
So
right now,
right now you're saying you just discussed it, so it's probably not going to be on the website. But right now it's AI social media, right? Engaging content.
yeah.
And all of that lack of specificity does not convey this easy to tell story, which
Yeah,
is
it's a new, like, it's a very fresh idea. Basically, we decided to pivot into X for now.
Mhm.
And we are still, like, the goal is to rework the landing page for that, definitely,
100%. I
over
agree
the
with
weekend.
I agree with what you guys are doing.
Yeah.
Because right now it says LinkedIn, X, and Reddit.
Yeah. We are going
And
to keep it there just as add-ons, but
I
X
would
is
not
going to be.
market it as that. Because once you start doing that, it's now losing its special sauce. Because
We are not going to market it, but we are going to keep the features for now.
but you lose out on the opportunity to optimize it for that one use case.
We are not, but we are not going to work on the feature like on the other platforms for now.
I understand, but
Yeah.
your product is going to have a Twitter button and a Reddit button.
Yeah.
So you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I have to, have to discuss with Robin and Bruno how we are going to solve that. But yeah, what we decided is I mapped out every single customer and all of them joined because of X so far. And we have discovered we have the best advantage, you could say, as founders when we concentrate on that first. So
Yeah, I think you should, don't take my word for it, like try it out, whatever. But I
yeah,
do think the opportunity is to just focus on X and not have Reddit as a button, not have Reddit mentioned anyway.
yeah, yeah.
Just
Like I got some other opinions from like other people. They were like selling the opposite. So basically, we had an agency founder we pitched it to, and he was like, the only interesting thing. The same goes for a startup. Um, the only interesting thing here for me is like Reddit, because that's something I've never seen before. Like, because you have the opportunity to drive a lot of traffic, and like if your post goes viral, and you have so basically LLMs are going to be trained on Reddit posts, so you can show up there, and you got SEO, parasitic SEO benefits.
yeah.
So B2B Reddit is going to be interesting. And
Yeah, I understand the appeal.
yeah,
I just, my only caution or whatever is the power of the singular message and the single platform.
Oh
Like
yeah.
the sharing of the story, right? Like, hey, what does postal do? It's so much easier for someone to say input to short form
Yeah.
rather than, well, it helps you write for Twitter, helps you write for Reddit, and now you created two spaces in people's minds, and they're gonna say, okay, how does it help you write for Twitter, and how does it help you write for Reddit? Now you're like stuck in this like two pitch situation. Whereas
True.
if you just say short form, you can use it for LinkedIn if you want to write short form on LinkedIn. You can use it for anywhere where you want to write short form content, even like as a caption on Instagram, right?
True.
But it just focused on short form, you're like, boom, it just does short form. You want long form, go do an SEO thing, where like a lot of these people are
Yeah.
competing on long
Yeah.
form AI creation stuff. But the competitive landscape becomes smaller, and it becomes they can't compete with you, because if they're going to be like, yeah, we do long form and we do short form, now they're
Yeah.
in that problem of dilution of the message. So I don't know, something to think about.
No, I definitely agree on that. Like I even think just set up the landing page just to market for X. Like I think that's the best way to go from 20 to 100 to niche
yeah,
down.
just
Then
X
after that,
or short forms,
yeah.
is hits that broader but stays specific enough that people understand.
Yeah, but I think short form is like almost equivalent, like at least from what
Jargon.
yeah, it's like short form text or video. Like a lot of people associate like short form with actually like Instagram Reels or TikTok videos.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I think like the landing
Yeah.
page has to be reworked, totally branded to Twitter at first.
Yeah. Or
So that's
250
a
characters at a time, like grow your brand 250 characters at a time. So like something to do with, if you want to do this broad thing where
yeah.
like you can use it multiple places, but the specificity of it. All right. What is a 5-star experience of using Postal? If you're going to describe a 5-star experience.
You sign up,
Mhm.
you experience content creation as never before, meaning it's seamless, so smooth, like
What
no
does that mean?
headaches.
Yeah, but describe
Before
that technically.
before you have it took you 40 minutes to come up with a tweet.
Mhm.
You were hammering like your head against the wall because you
Mhm.
don't know what to tweet about. You scraped the last draft.
Mhm.
Now with Poster, maximum. You got something posted in 3 minutes.
Mhm.
And depending on whatever method, like speech to text, speech to tweet, or you use, that whole that's going to be really seamless. Then what like on the back end of that experience, that's going to really transform it from like let's say a good product experience to a really good experience is of course within your first week you have 10x your views on at least one of your posts. Meaning
Mhm.
if you struggled and you only got like 100 impressions on your tweets and on average, one of your posts created with Poster is going to at least get 1,000 impressions.
Okay, so I got
You,
two benchmarks for 5-star experience.
yeah,
0 to post in 3 minutes, right?
yeah,
And 10x views in a week,
yeah.
10x impressions in a week. Can you put your money behind that?
Right now, no, but if we get on a call and I show you how to use it in this state,
Mhm.
I would put my you either use like in a week. Okay, that's bold, but I like going for that. If we get on a call and you use Poster for a week, you post 5 times a day. Exactly how I tell you to do. one of your posts is going to 10x.
And yeah, then I think you should do a free trial for a week, paid free trial.
Paid free trial. What do you mean by that?
Like you pay for a week,
Yeah.
you give them unlimited access for a week,
Yeah.
right?
But it's not a free
And
trial, right? If you pay for it? Or what?
no, but if they don't get 10x impressions, you give them a refund.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if if they get 10x impressions, they continue in their plan. Or they can cancel and just say, thanks. I don't want to use it for the rest of whatever, but you can earn a week's pay, right? Like whatever it is, like $10 1 week trial or something like that. Because that's kind of what sales is all about. It's like the slippery slope that you're trying to create.
Yeah.
Like from free to maybe giving you $5, then $30, and $200 a month. Like you want to create these different packages.
Yeah.
If you can.
Yeah. By the way, just a heads up on at 5 p.m. like so in 45 minutes I got
45
a
minutes, yeah,
call.
we'll be done by
I,
45 minutes.
okay, I got a call with a user.
I like it.
But overall, what you just said is like this kind of challenge.
Uh-huh.
That's
Yeah, the
perfect.
100-day challenge is also great. I
Yeah,
think
the
100
100-day
days.
and like
Yeah.
to get your money back.
Mhm.
That's gold right there.
Yeah. All right. Let's speed this along. What is a 6-star experience?
6 star.
So if a 5-star experience is 0 to post in 3 minutes and 10x impressions in a week, what is a realistic 6-star experience?
Realistic stick. You use poster. Depends. That's more, I think the next star is a bit dependent on what customer group. But
Okay, so for beginner founders, what is a 6-star experience?
you crack 500 followers in a couple, like let's say in 2 months of using poster and posting as if like as we educate you. And
This, as we educate you, Paul,
yeah,
you need to decode and program
yeah,
a file
yeah.
in some way.
We plan to do the following. We do like that's something else we decided. We will add like let's say a video or learning stage in poster inside poster like a learning center, and it's basically just a video course.
Well, you can just do that as a newsletter, as a way to capture leads. So, in my landing page formula, I say after pricing,
Yeah.
in the landing page, you can say, still not convinced, take this 7-day video course, sign up now.
Mhm.
And they just give you an email. And you can now track who sees the email. You do like 5 emails.
I mean, I think we should advertise it on the landing page, but I think the learning center is going to be free because you can create an account without a credit card and then you get access to it.
Yeah. This is just an email sequence.
Okay, that's what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
like a 5 email sequence that teaches you everything you need to know, so that by the end of the 5 days, you're like, yeah, I'm gonna use post.
Yeah.
And then it's not part of the main product, but it's maybe you can link all those things as an SEO thing. Video
Mhm.
with the transcript.
Yeah.
Each one. But it's a way to get emails. It's a way to get leads.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
warmer leads than your cold DMs on. You can just email them and be like, hey, can I get on a phone call with you? And the people who complete the 5 days and don't buy, or the people who complete the 5 days and buy, both, those, or the people who abandon, you can be like, hey, why did you abandon? Why didn't you complete the course or something like that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just a way to open another line of communication.
Yeah, that's another banger idea. Like we still have to do that. Like
There's a
definitely
lot to
do
do,
that.
bro. There's a lot to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. is there a 7-star experience for these people?
Okay, to be honest, I thought like the scale would end at 5-star, like 5 out of 5.
Yeah, that's the whole point of the
Okay,
the exercise.
7-star is you get business growth through the stuff you post through Poster.
Like actually getting lead and customer.
Like what you posted something with Poster, you get a sale, you get a lead, a call.
Mhm.
It's hard to track, but overall, the equation is simple, right? Viral post, profile visits, link in your bio.
Love it. Yeah, that's why I think the profile analyzers banger lead magnet. All right, there's this concept in storytelling called the inciting incident, right?
Oh,
And what the inciting incident is, it's
yeah,
like, Super Mario Brothers, when
yeah.
they're all living happily, and then Bowser shows up and captures Peach, right? And that sends Super Mario on his quest to rescue Peach. That is called an inciting incident, that Bowser catching Peach. What is the inciting incident for your customer? Like, what happens that makes them like, shit, I need to buy something?
They keep posting a lot without seeing results. And then after maybe a month, I think that the time duration is going to be different for everybody else.
Mm.
Let's say a month, they see, dude, I keep doing so much. Why the fuck does my account doesn't grow? Like, why am I stagnating on 200 views on each post? What is happening? Like,
That is
that's
not an inciting incident. That leads up to an inciting incident. Because people take action when there is something that changes. They don't take action when they continue doing something.
um okay, that's kind of part of it though, like not seeing results for let's say this then. They spend a lot of time on one post. Let's say, okay, I want to write a really killer thread. They spend at least an hour for that, and it completely bombs. And then paired with that time that led up to it, where they have zero to no success,
Mm.
they're like, okay, now I have to change something. Now I have to get help. I need some tool. Like after seeing that thread bomb, or could be something different. They see somebody on X, same niche, same space, and they're flying past them.
Mhm.
They're like, what the hell is this guy doing? Like we are
Now we're
almost,
getting somewhere. That
yeah,
is that is an incident. That is one single thing. Because
okay,
we're assuming they think they're writing banger posts every time they post.
true.
You know what I mean? So
True.
them
Okay, then
continuing to bomb is not an inciting incident. But
that's just normal.
yeah,
Okay.
it's just frustration. It's just like, oh fuck, fuck, fuck.
Yeah, okay.
It's not a moment that they're like, damn, you know. But them
Because
having a friend that is whatever, they're 200 followers, he's 300 followers, and they're like competing, and then all of a sudden this guy takes off,
yeah,
and he's like, we're doing the same thing. What happened?
actually, Adam just told me like he made that viral post, right? And he posted some other stuff with posts that performed really well compared to the average before that. And somebody reached out to him and was like, "Yo, I saw that you kind of blew up and stuff, and you mentioned like using a tool for hooks or something like that."
Mm.
And then I think that's the first referral we actually got via a customer because Adam then posted the link to post it. So I think that flying, like you see somebody that is kind of on your level, and then all of a sudden this guy takes off. That's like maybe that one,
That's the inciting incident.
yeah, because that makes you go, okay, what is behind this, and what can I do to have that same experience?
And then from your perspective, you're thinking, how can I engineer these moments?
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like that's why
Yeah,
this
yeah,
question is important, because if you
yeah,
don't know exactly what is the inciting incident, you're now not optimizing for a moment,
yeah. I
and
bet there are
things
more.
happens in moments. What?
Yeah, I bet there are more stuff like this, but
What
that
else?
more
Think.
that comes maybe down to the mm, could be maybe that you have a client and they switch to another freelancer because they they just have more attention on X and more brand prestige.
So it's the same thing, kind of, but in a different context. I like it's like not you looking at your peer blowing past you, but your customer looking at your competition blowing past you.
Yeah, kind of like I think I went more from like my thought process behind this was more like coming from a pain. You actually lose business because you are not using post. Like
Yeah, you
you just
lose business exactly. Like,
yeah,
hey, let's say you're competing for. It's basically this customer saying your competition more popular.
yeah, yeah,
You know, in any way, like you're competing for business and your competition is more popular, and you're
yeah.
like, I want to be like my competition, more popular. And they're like, well, guess what? You just post.
Yeah,
Yeah. All right.
yeah. Those are the
Imagine,
two.
imagine
Sorry.
evil. No, no. You want to say something?
No, no, we're good to go. I just wanted to say those are the two that came to mind.
Yeah, yeah. Imagine evil Joshua. Devious, uh, locked in troll goblin Joshua. All right, and he's 100 times crushing it more than you. Right,
Okay.
but it's you. It's like same tendencies, same personality, same everything. But he's just maybe a little doesn't care, maybe doesn't meditate.
Hmm.
His moral compass is a little off, but he's
Yeah.
crushing it in business. Right, what is he doing different?
So basically, we are talking about Robin.
He's posting
But
feet pictures.
yeah. So what does he do?
So
Like in our relationship, I'm definitely the good cop, but
yeah,
that's another.
good cop. Yeah.
What does he do? He's crushing it in business, meaning even Joshua is able to drive a lot more customers to Postal. That's what you mean?
Yeah,
Like,
customers, more attention, more I don't know, focus on product, more I don't know what it is you think is 100 times.
I don't like crushing it. I don't like associate that with evil, but what does he do? I think he would do the following.
Mhm,
He would prey on weak customers, or
mhm,
let's say he would use non-ethical ways to manipulate people into buying by, for example, going to accounts that have been posting for a long time,
mhm,
but instead of almost like shaming them into
mhm.
buying Postal to help them, basically, and not
How's that?
coming
How's
from.
that bad?
I think offering them Postal isn't bad, but the way you do it in that moment, because of course pain is used to sell, no question, but a different I would rather come from, hey, this is helping you, instead of, hey, man, you say you're a ghostwriter or your tweets get 200 views, you are shit. Like
Mm.
that's that's not an
But is
angle
there
I
a middle
like.
ground? Is there a middle ground maybe that?
The middle ground I've already used. It
Mhm,
would be basically that's what I've done. I've looked up Twitter ghostwriters
mhm,
under 500 followers.
mhm,
I took a screenshot of the last tweets and then like visually enhanced the impressions of each of them.
mhm,
And I told them, hey, I saw that you do ghostwriting and that you struggle to get past 1K impressions.
Mhm.
We are building a tool that might be able to help you. I really believe this could help you
Mhm.
to get past, like consistently get past 1K impressions on your stuff. If we show you how to use it, here's my stuff, blah, blah, blah. I think that's a far more fair way. And I think evil Joshua would go in that case, he would like be far more dickhead about it. Basically,
Is there a middle ground between that and that?
I either have like the stuff I have now or something which is totally like an asshole move.
Yeah, it's like black and white. Yeah, but
Yeah.
let's explore the gray a little bit, just because a lot of times people are not as aggressive as they should be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
aggressiveness and like intensity and all of that is not a bad thing. It helps you. It actually puts you in that offensive position, right?
Yeah. Okay. This morning somebody replied actually, and then
Yeah.
Ghostwriter, Twitter,
Mhm.
Ghostwriter for LinkedIn and Twitter.
Mhm.
So basically somebody that could use posted for his clients or for himself to grow
Mhm.
his account more. So what he replied was, yo, I'm the wrong target group. I would
Mhm.
never pay $15. You are basically competing with me. You're not building a tool for me. And that was an interesting convo. And my first instinct was to tell him, like that's like the instinct of Joshua, evil Joshua, maybe asshole
Mhm.
Joshua, would be, yo, you call like he told me in one of the DMs, a pro would never use something like this.
Mhm.
And I was like, okay, you call yourself a pro, you have 200 followers, X thousand posts. I can't find you on LinkedIn. All
Mhm.
your posts can't get beyond 200 impressions.
Mhm.
What the fuck is pro about this?
Okay. What did you say?
What I said is, that's like nice, Joshua, like
Mhm.
kind behavior,
Yeah.
Joshua. I was like, can you explain like the reasoning behind this? I'm genuinely interested why you think that.
Mhm.
Um, and what do you use as a pro? Like
Mhm.
that's the very
Yeah.
kind Joshua, right?
But
But
there is a middle ground. But you know,
I think there's a mix between this and being a bit more like confronting.
I think confronting has negative connotation to it a little bit,
True.
and it might scare you. I don't know. I'm just assuming that
Yeah.
the reason why you're not confronting people or being aggressive is because you have some sort of like negative barrier there.
I don't want to
And
piss people off. Yeah.
I understand.
Yeah.
And maybe there is a like tongue-in-cheek, comedic, humorous
Yeah,
middle
that's an
ground.
angle. Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's what I did too in the convo I had with this guy, right? He was like, "Yeah, I would never pay $15," and I replied quickly, "Hey, we can up the price for you if you want."
Mhm.
Uh,
Yeah,
uh,
yeah, but that's just it's. I'm saying using humor more strategically because
yeah, yeah,
I also care about what people feel, right?
yeah,
You know, I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings,
exactly. Yeah.
and but I don't want that instinct to take away opportunities from, right?
Mm.
So sometimes keeping to your kind self, but using maybe comedy or a little bit of education can go a long way where you can be like, I appreciate, you know, your perspective,
Mm.
but let me offer you another perspective. All these pros, and then you give them examples of pros, right? Like in the copywriting space, there's like Dickie Bush and David Perel and all these like amazing writers.
Yeah.
And you say they're using tools, they're using AI tools,
Of course they
right?
do. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So respectfully, so and so, I don't think your philosophy stands with other pros that are crushing it right now.
Yeah.
And you can try it out. Maybe like try it out for 7 days. Go
I
head to
will
head.
definitely.
Go head to head with Postal. If your tweets outperform Postal, you know, we'll give you $20 or something.
That's a good idea. That's a good idea.
Or, like a little bit challenging, a little bit of not backing away and like, almost wasting your time talking to him, pushing for the result that you want, right? And maybe it's a little patience. Hey, you follow up in a week or something. Like, it doesn't have to be so aggressive, but it also, it's good to train yourself to stick with the lead and follow up and keep following up and not give up on people just because they say, oh, I'm not interested. A lot of times the time is not right. The circumstances are not right. There's no inciting incident in the whatever. And you want to just stay on top of mind, follow up, keep doing that. Try to always go for the close as fast as possible if it's there. If it's not there, definitely move on. But having that spirit of challenge, humor, sticking with it, not backing off, because like if you're nice and people like you and you're kind and you keep following up, like with my consulting, I've closed people that I followed up for like 6 months.
Okay. Yeah.
Literally 6 months. Like, just, hey, what's going on? Every month. How's the business? How's the brand? How's whatever? You're still looking for oh yeah, everything is great. And most of the time we create these stories of, oh, they don't like us, they don't like the product, they don't like whatever. And 9 times out of 10, the reason why they're not buying has nothing to do with you. You know what I'm saying? 99 times out of 100, it has nothing to do with you. It's just the time's not right. So many things going on in people's lives that you don't know about. So yeah, just don't stick with it. Like, I like the 100x more evil Joshua. There is ground there, that is still kind, still gives you opportunities, still. Okay, almost done. Describe the most genius artist.
Him as a person or like his work?
It can be fiction, whatever comes to mind.
Okay. So I was thinking of somebody that mastered his craft and basically effortlessly in flow state, he could wake up and create his next masterpiece. And people are going to wonder for decades what went into this. But behind the scenes, this basically was something he was about to throw away. And
it's nothing.
It's like nothing for him. But people are like, so I thought of art literally. So they're like in the museum and they're standing there in front of it with like a bottle of wine and stuff. They're like, how the fuck did this guy create it? He must be a fucking genius. Like the art of like itself evokes such like people admire it so much because it's like from the craftsmanship, it's like extremely good. And it has a good backstory to it. Like this artist is like Van Gogh, for example, right? The story is so good. The movies about him, Picasso too, I think, and they're like eccentric.
Yeah,
they create stuff effortlessly in flow state, where other people they spend weeks to recreate something and then it doesn't get there anywhere close. So that's
so it's a mix between like mastery and like Zen.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that can, like, the second thing, I went on from literal artist to martial artist. Have you ever seen one of those edits where it sounds stupid, but he went into the Matrix and then he dodges like 10 punches?
No,
like,
bro, I watch my type videos. I know, like Loadzilla, where he's like, just dodging stuff. And then,
and then he just like he dodges like everything and then he comes back with one punch and the guy is flat out, knocked out. So that's like I don't even see a fighter. I see like an artist in that moment. And that's the same for boxing, the same for there are many crafts in this, like public speakers. This spans from like it's not about the activity, but at some once you move a certain skill level, it becomes art.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, 100%. It's like the discipline to master something deeply and then
yeah,
kind of then playing with it, just your play.
yeah. And then
Uh,
you're playing exactly like Naval put it, like you're creating results that are astounding, like that are surprising people because they're so good playfully. That's
mhm.
what a genius artist looks like for me. And it doesn't depend, like it doesn't matter what kind of craft it is, but you're getting results that people are like, how? How did he do
Mm,
this? And for you, it was like just another Monday.
mhm. Yeah,
That's
that's beautiful. Yeah. Do you know Alan Watts? Do you listen to Alan
yes.
Watts? Yeah, all
Yeah, I
right.
listened to him a couple of years ago. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that guy. Anyways, so have you seen the movie Spartacus, the old Spartacus movie?
No.
Okay, so there's the scene. Spartacus was like a slave, a gladiator,
Yeah.
and he raised an army of gladiators and like rose against the Romans.
Mm.
And there's the scene where they lose the battle, and the Roman says, "Reveal to us who is Spartacus, and we
Yeah.
will spare your lives." And then Spartacus goes to want to reveal himself, but then his friend says, "I am Spartacus," and then another person says, "I am Spartacus," and like the whole army, because
Yeah.
I am Spartacus. So what is that for you? Like, what do you stand for? Like, that is that grand for you? Like that people would want to join you and sacrifice for that idea. I am Joshua, right? Like, what is that?
Basically going from not knowing shit
Mhm.
to after a couple of years, you are the best version of yourself and you have a successful business and you have a real impact on people. Like documenting that, like a big part of it, besides the business, is just the self-improvement part, like being
Mhm.
the best version of yourself, getting there step by step, showing like the journey. And then I think just because actually building a business is a great vehicle of self-improvement because it teaches you so much. Uh, it's also like really deeply ingrained in that image. So you're this loser, basically, going from not knowing anything, not having skills, to having a great business, having a great mind, a great body, being able to fight, being able to make money. Like it's very cliche, and a lot of like TikToks, like a lot of the media space takes this into has a very perverted vision of this. But I think
Mhm.
it's actually like actually building something that helps other people, making money by that, and being like a really um yeah, being the best version of yourself, whatever that is for you. That's something I think a lot of people can stand behind, but that's basically me. That's like I myself, I want to see how far can I get. I'm now in a I'm still in the intro of my book.
Yeah,
And
and the ending of your book is the answer to the last question, which I want to challenge you to explore. What does play look like at the end of the journey? Because right now you're saying you're at the intro and you're learning these things, and
yeah,
at some point you will be a master if you just keep trying to keep learning, keep practicing. And becoming a master is not the goal, right? Becoming the master is not the goal. Becoming playing at the end of the mastery is the goal, because that's ongoing, right?
True. Just sticking with it
Yeah.
is
Yeah,
basically
at
the
the
goal.
end, like you're saying, it's gonna be second nature. At the end of that journey,
Yeah.
it's gonna be just fun, just
Right.
having fun. And I do like your answer to the Spartacus question, where it's like going from a loser to a winner, basically, or like,
Yeah, it's like that's the oldest story ever. But
yeah,
yeah,
self-mastery is a beautiful goal. Like, we are, it's like another question, another way to ask this question is, who are we, right? And from what I'm hearing, you're saying we are people who take care of ourselves and want to live up to our maximum potential,
yeah,
physically, spiritually, economically, communally, all of these different vectors, right? And I love that. And the thing that stood out to me is the showing the journey part,
yeah,
which is related to post out, right? You're saying, hey, go on this journey, become a master in your business and whatever, and share the journey. And we help you share the journey in a way that gets more attention, impacts more
yeah,
people,
yeah. I think
right?
there's seeing other people doing that
Yeah.
inspired me a lot. Like seeing like the stuff Mark Liu put out a couple like when like I found him like in the beginning of the last year. I think the biggest power in that is not actually the products he's building and stuff like that, but more like inspiring people
Yeah. And
to
you're
get
helping build people like that, right? With your
yeah,
product, right?
yeah,
Like Adam is a great example, right? He's a learner. He wants to be really good at design and animation, whatever. And he was struggling getting attention, but now that he has attention, he can inspire more people. And
right.
you're helping with that,
Yeah,
and kind of understanding the underlying value of your brand in that way.
yeah.
That
Yes,
it's not just viral posts and whatever. Like in the end, you are creating leaders, future leaders, the leaders of tomorrow, people who are going to impact the world, right?
I
You
like that a lot. Yeah,
and your tool helps do that. It gives you a certain grounding where it's not just like grind, money, money, money.
yeah.
All right.
Do you know that story about the I think there's a tradition in karate, like Kyokushin or Kyokushin karate, like the brutal version,
Mm,
where you don't only do the katas. Basically, they train super hard, right? And at the beginning, they have a white belt, and that's like beginner status. And the only thing you want at that stage is like to get that black belt.
mm,
And at the end, you have that black belt, but you keep on training. And by the time you die, that black belt gets worn out, and what's underneath it is uh, white.
mm.
So they get buried as a beginner, and that's like something I will never lose. I think just that beginner mindset, never lose that, no
Yeah.
matter how skilled, how far you came, and
And
that's
it's playful.
something.
It's one of the most playful stages, right? Like
Yeah,
as children, we
yeah,
play.
yeah.
What's more beginner than a child?
Nothing. Yeah,
Like, so 100%, that innocence, that playfulness, and is a big part of who you are. And
mm,
that's why I do these things, is because for me, I think brands, business brands, reflect the founder identity. And your
mm,
founder identity and Robin's founder identity and Bruno's founder identity are as core to this business as yours, right? Like for
mm,
you, it's mastery and playfulness and whatever. Maybe for Robin, it's, you know, family values and being a support system and, helping people like that. So like you're maybe focused more on the impact. He's focused more on the financial freedom that your product creates for its customers, right? Bruno's maybe into the technical aspects. He's like, hey, you guys are on cutting edge AI. I want to build all these things. I want to analyze this, so each one has their own zone of playfulness, and finding what that is and putting it all together, and having that brand reflect that in an authentic way. Not to use the word authentic because I'm not a big fan of that word, but the organic way is organic. I like organic, but is going to be powerful, because that is also a thing. Like, the biggest moats are brand moats, where people get invested in what you guys are doing, what you stand for, and being able to communicate that with design and animation, copywriting and marketing and all of that is going to be super helpful. So like, this kind of, we're creating the leaders of tomorrow. We're creating people who impact and get attention and all that. To kind of just wrap it up, right? Imagine Postel logo on a hat with no words. Why would anyone want to wear it besides the founder team? Like, what does it represent? And think about your identity and Robin's identity and Bruno's identity as you think about it. And just whatever comes to your mind. Like, what's the first?
The biggest part is maybe Postel allowed me to be authentic online. I know you don't like the word, but
no.
Postel unlocked the power of social media for me, personal branding. And then there are many things attached to that. Because of that, I built a life-changing community. Because of that, my agency took off. Because of that, I could sell my product. Because of that, I could leave my 9 to 5. Because of that, goes on and on.
Yeah, so it's like a symbol of thriving, of unlocking the power
brand mastery.
Brand mastery. I like
it. That's one of the first things that came to mind, but I was like, I had to pick between what's the best thing.
I like it. Brand mastery is good. Brand, like mastering your personal brand. That's kind of like the symbol.
Yeah.
Love. All right. Last exercise. Do you have a paper and pen with you? Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Imagine your life at peak impact. I want you to draw what comes to your mind.
Oh, there's a lot of things that change, but
what you got?
So there are many things that definitely, what I learned in this talk, first of all, it's like to listen more carefully and to be more specific, because like the way you asked questions, they were like really direct, but still very open. So there's some things I took from that. Basically, we have the same stairs, but this time it's me, Robin, and Bruno on the surfboard. And then there's a big crowd. And we are helping them getting to their North Star, to their dream outcome, to their place of maximum impact. And one of those things is definitely Postel. That's the logo of Postel. I tried to draw it.
It looks good.
Yeah, and on the same level, basically. That's me and my family. We are all good. And we're living like close together. And this is Postel, and this is basically the foundation of all this stuff that's going on. So meaning I want to get into position or maximum impact. The stuff I'm building together with Robin and Bruno is like supporting everything here on the top. And it's supporting also the next boxes. I've put here dots because it's actually a good point. Like I don't see myself limiting myself to a certain number of products. So it keeps going. And then all of these pay into the foundation, all of these build the foundation. And then maybe we got some supporters that help us get there. And that's overall the new updated vision, I think.
I love it.
And
I'm one of those four at the bottom. Like, hell yeah.
definitely like
Let's go.